Good evening, everyone. Wishing you all a very happy Teachers' Day. It's really an honor that all of you have joined us today for the Education e-Conclave. And believe me, the next 3 hours are going to be absolutely, mesmerizing because we have a team of educators who have spoken in past as well as people who are coming to us for the first time, and they are going to have a discussion. So I will run you through the complete agenda, that how we are actually utilizing this 180 minutes of your time. So we are starting with the new education policy panel. We had almost 30 plus educators who spoke during the last 1 month with us, and they have spoken to us on length and breadth. So they will be giving you an helicopter view of the new education policy, because in the formal platform we are talking right now, so far whatever the videos or the recordings that we have done, that was in the YouTube, which can be actually viewed. Otherwise you can go to our Career Beacon website, and also you can see all the excerpts. After Meenal Desai, actually it has not been uploaded, so it will be uploaded in the due course of time. And with this, we would like to go further. After the new education policy, we are going to have a gratitude session for the teachers. Youngster Entrepreneur Nexus with us has partnered and have done a very beautiful activity, which we shall be sharing. Followed by that, Dr. Hari Krishna Marem would be actually speaking about India, a landscape of economic opportunities. Sandeep Marwa sir would be joining us around 5:15, 5:10, and he will actually give you an entire view of what exactly is going in terms of your education, in terms of the vocational thing, I think. Followed by that, we will have a beautiful session with higher education, new education policy, which will be spearheaded by one of the soldier, trainer, educationist, that is Colonel A. Shekhar. And followed by that, we will have a sensational session with the person who has really made the news in last 3 weeks, Neelakanto Branu Prakash, one of the person who has received the Olympiad award, and there would be a fireside chat. And I'm sure Commander Banga would be really proud of it, because his student is going to have the fireside chat with him. Followed by that, we will have other things, which is like, we will have a panel discussion. We will have a session by Dr. Ruby, who will be speaking about you know the virtual learning, that how can be seamless. And last but not least, we are going to reveal the big thing, awards. So this is the entire agenda. Now I would request Kavita Rai, who is the associate editor for Career Beacon, joint convener for National Career Counselors Network, and co-founder for Concept. And professionally, she has done counseling in psychology, and of course, mother of two beautiful sons who are in the critical stage of their life, 12th and 10th class. So managing home front, professional front, and everything. So over to Kavita to take up the new education policy. It's 4:33 and the time limit is 4:15, only 15 minutes. I don't know how are you going to manage people. All up to you. All the best.
Thank you so much, Sunanda. And yes, the National Education Policy 2020, approved by the Union Cabinet, announced in July 31st, and we are having for last 1 month. Uh, we are interviewing the eminent educators from K-12 as well as from the higher education to understand what are the implications, what it brings for individual, for the student, for a parent, and what to look for. And yes, it has evoked a variety of responses, and we have interviewed throughout almost 30 educators, and today we'll just run through to understand it better. Uh, for the detailed session, you can please visit our YouTube channel, and you can view all the eminent speakers, those who are with us, to understand it in detail, know their perspective. So let's run through that. Okay. We had Mrs. Sunita Srivastava, and she gave a great insight into national education policy and talked about learn how to learn, and child is to be allowed to think critically. That was a key takeaway from her. And we are very grateful and we pay our gratitude to her. She's here today with us, Sunanda. Okay. So we had Miss Priti Pasricha, and she talked in detail about NAP 2020. How the education will be, it will be more inquiry based, discovery and discussion based education pan India. It is going to be implemented. Gratitude to from us, Preeti ji, and if you can please come, I like to ask you the question to give a helicopter view of the, how do you see uh, the national education policy? Do you agree that it is going to reform and re-energize the whole education system? If so, why? And if not, why? Preeti, if you can unmute yourself.
Preeti, can you please unmute yourself and share the details? You are not yet unmuted, please. Preeti, you have to unmute yourself. We are not able to hear you.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Thank you so much and good evening to everyone present here. Wish you a very, very, very happy Teachers' Day. As we all know, these housewives are called, the housewives are called as homemakers. So I would say happy Teachers' Day to all the nation makers present here and everyone in the entire globe. A very happy You Day to you. Thank you so much. Now, speaking about NEP 2020, it is definitely going to make a difference. And how it is going to do that is, like, as we all know, the 10+2 curriculum has been changed to 5+3 plus 3 plus 4. And also besides that, there will be new curriculum coming in. There is coding coming in. The government first time has outreached to preschooling, which will include nursery education and kindergarten levels. The NEP has also proposed with annual examinations and has proposed board examinations in grades 3, 5, 8, 10 and 12. The entire structure is going to be redesigned. A new assessment policy, PARAK, as we all know, performance assessment review and analysis of knowledge for holistic development is going to be introduced. So these are all like policy. The policy also includes setting up gender inclusion fund and special education zones to support socially and economically disadvantaged groups. And moreover, the NEP 2020 is definitely here to make some changes in the existing education system by making certain paradigmatic changes, while the new NEP intends to integrate the Indian education system with global patterns. They are completely going to do away with rote learning, instill confidence and nationalistic pride among the students.
Thank you.
It is a wonderful that has come in. Yeah, please continue.
That's so wonderful, Preeti ji, and thank you for giving an insight. We had Mr. Commander V.K. Banga, and we talked in detail about the NLP, and his takeaway was the report will reflect the skills of the student in an easy, simple, and comprehensive manner rather than just numbers that are being taken care of. So, Commander Banga, I would like you to please come and share with us again. How does this NAP differ from the previous policy? If you can share with us your insight.
Okay, madam. I will just take 1 minute as you have told me. First of all, I'd like to convey good wishes to all of you. Wish you a happy Teachers' Day to all. And as you have asked me within limited times, here we are on Teachers' Day. We are telling more about the teachers. I'll not agree with it in total, but I would like to envision education policy that is more holistic and result oriented. It is an old wine, if you ask me, in a new bottle, but of course, little bit more refined manner, unless the intake of teachers at the B.Ed for school level and for selection of subjects by students for higher education is not supported scientifically through psychological methods. It won't give you educated people. or the right professionals. This NEP at present form, it is good, there is no doubt, but it will provide more of the literacy, that is more literate people than educated people.
Thank
Hope
you.
answered in brief the entire thing to you. I am giving emphasis on teachers and as well as intake of the teachers and the students too. They should
Thank
be
you.
given a proper set of things.
Thank you so much, sir. And this is a small token of gratitude from us.
Thank
Uh, with that, I see, Mrs. Sunita Srivastava, she has joined us. So, ma'am, if you can just, in a quick, you can tell us that the overall reform that is there, it is going to re-energize the whole education system. Do you agree? If so, why? If not, why?
Yeah, greetings to everyone. Very happy Teachers' Day. We are celebrating it virtually. And to tell about this NEP reforms, the ambit of schooling has definitely augmented with this NEP 2020. The challenge is in its implementation, how we are going to implement it. What I feel is if the autonomy is given to the head of the schools, definitely this black and white will come into reality. That is what I believe in. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's a token of gratitude from us.
Thank you.
And all the audience who are viewing, if you want to see the detailed perspective of all the educators who are present here, please go and visit the YouTube channel. You will see all their perspectives in detail discussed with us. And with that, we move to, we had Mrs. Neha Sharma, and she talked about we need to let the child learn, explore, and focus on various modes of experiential learning. Unfortunately, we don't have her, and this is a token of gratitude for her. Ms. Dr. Seema Negi, she talked us about, NAP will help us to transition from mark-centric to a life-centric. She emphasized on life skills, the way the NAP is focusing on. And then we had Professor Ajay Rana. He talked about the perspective with regard to higher education and the way NEP demands extra efforts to go the extra mile to get extraordinary output. That is what we are looking. That is what Prime Minister Modi has a vision, bringing this national education policy. Um, then we had an industrial perspective with Dr. Akhil Busre, and he talked about HR need to understand the core competency of the job and accordingly hire the candidate, because the way the reform is coming in the education, the same reform should come in the mindset of the people who are employing the youth. So we had a great his insight into what kind of changes will be coming. The HR people need to think about with this education reform. It's a token of gratitude from us. Then we, had a great discussion with Dr. Sunila Joy Chauhan, and she talked about teachers. Teachers will switch the role as facilitator who can ignite the spark in the impressionable minds of child. And I see Dr. Sunila, she is here with us. Dr. Sunila, if you can just tell us, how does NAP differ from the previous policy?
Good evening, everyone. And once again, happy Teachers' Day to all of us over here, teachers. And yes, this NEP has a lot of promise in terms of, since we have coding that is coming in at such an early stage, we also have a emphasis on education, which is vocational. And this will enable more people to actually have the skills and at the same time, be able to switch to vocations without it having a stigma attached to it, because it's going to be integrated into the entire education system. So I think that is going to bring about a change. Of course, as you rightly said, there would need to be a change in the mindset of people. For that, teachers, training. So it's a lot of backward planning, and that is what we need to focus on, how we are going to get equipped and skilled to get there. So this, along with many other things, are what the new NEP hopes to get to us.
Thank you so much, Shrilaji, and it's a small token of love from us.
Thank you.
for. So we had Mrs. Dejani Bose, and she talked about a flexible education system under the NAP 2020 will open our minds of excellence. So it was another perspective about NAP by Mrs. Dejani Bose. Thank you for her insight. We had Professor Rajendra Bharti, and he talked about NAP 2020 has a promising future in higher education with multidisciplinary education and research university Meru approach that will bring more researchers that India was lacking. So this is the vision NAP has. Thank you, Rajendra ji, and you're not with us at present, but thank you so much. It's a token of appreciation. Then we talked to Mrs. Alka Kapoor. She talked about NAP 2020 is focusing on holistic development with dignity of labor. Yes, it is putting teachers into higher thing. You know, the teachers, the scope and even the respect level of the teacher. They are the core of learning that need to be taken care of. Thank you, Alka ji, for your insight and your time. Then we discussed with Mr. Vaibhav Kapoor about, he talked about continuous learning and training of teachers will be the key to successful implementation of NAP 2020 as teachers are the core of in the entire learning process. Vaibhav ji, please, if you can share with us the overall and the reionization of education system the NEP brings. Do you agree with that? If so, why? And if not, why?
Okay. First of all, thank you for calling us in such a great show, especially on this occasion. Special thanks to Kavita and Sunanda, both of you, because I think bringing us will really bring some horizon to the stakeholders, especially about the new education policy. If I talk about pandemic, at least one good thing it has been done that we are virtually connected. So it's saving a lot of commuting time. So I'll talk about the new education policy 2020. I think it will definitely revamp the overall education system, putting enough fuel for overhauling higher education. And by broadening the horizons of subject combinations and implementing the policy of 533 plus 2020, precisely new education policy takes a stand to bring in flexibility in learning for the students. And with reformed board examination, reduction in the overall syllabus to retain core essentials and trust on experiential learning, critical thinking. And I think new education policy 2020 promises better future prospect for the students. So I'll go ahead with this. And precisely, I would like to say that a lot of training is required for the teachers whenever the new education policy is implemented. Thank you so much for calling us. Have a very good day and a happy Teachers Day.
Thank you so much. Happy Teachers Day to each and everyone who's present with us. It's a small token of gratitude, Vaibhav ji. And with that, I see Dr. Rana, he's joined us. Professor Dr. Ajay Rana, he's with us. Sir, if you can please share, the policy envision a complete overall and re-energizing of the higher education system. How does this NAP differ from previous policies?
So, thank you for asking this on the spot question. So, on my behalf, all those who are panelists, I first give my best wishes to all the teachers for any country, any nation. If you recognize the teachers, then you find the growth of that country. My point of view with respect to NEP, that is really a remarkable change by the government of India. And you find that there are the various things in this new policy. But first we educate the different levels. Different levels means about the parents, about the students. As Professor Vaibhav said, they're the interdisciplinary or remarkable change. But this policy plays a very important role because after 1986 or 1992 or Omni Christian Committee, we are the 21st century skills. There is the requirement, the demand. All IITs, all NITs, all premium institutions have applied this policy before the other education institutions. Because you know that all IITs, especially 4 IITs, IIT Delhi, IIT Kanpur, IIT Mumbai or IIT Chennai, they have worked as per the PAR parameter across the globe. Like one is the consortium of Europe, one is the consortium of Australia, one is the consortium of US, one is the consortium of the Russia. But what about the others? So yes, there's the overwhelming response by the educationist. And from my side, parents need some time. There's no syllabus cut. There's no shortcut in this policy. Like earlier, where our education system is 10 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2. Means our higher education for UG is minimum at least 3 years. And for our PG is the 5, means the 2 years after this graduation. But what about the other countries? Their education system is 10 plus 2 plus 4 plus 1. I think 2 or 3 years back, you have found a lot of news in Delhi University. They changed their undergraduate program from 3 years to 4 years. Many professors approached to the government, we should change, we should change, we should change. But Delhi University was not changed at that time. The Vice Chancellor may change at that time. What is the fault of the education system? Now the Vice Chancellor of the full right now, he is the Chancellor of one of the best university in NCR. But it is up to his leadership. If that person is able to apply the system, and that's why, Kavita ji, our education, we have right now 950 universities. If we achieve the target across the globally, we should think beyond the bound. All private institutions, you check the growth of all private institutions, those have like the VIT, MET, Manipal, they are
So, sir, this will bring about the change that is needed. And as you have mentioned, it is a high time. The government has taken it was a need of the hour. And if we, as rightly put up by you, globally, if we take up the things, it is going to reform the education landscape of India. Thank you so much, sir. It is a small token of gratitude from all of us. Thank you so much for being with us. And we have Mr. Srinivasan Sriram. He talked about NEPs, all about success and a sustainable society for the equitable excellence for everyone. Small token of love from us. We had Dr. Dheeraj Mehrotra. He talked about the spectrum of the digital portal for the equitable highest quality and integration education within the reach of everyone. And it's a small appreciation from us. We had Lieutenant A. Colonel Shekhar, and he talked about the teacher education need to be reimagined with the comprehensive curriculum framework, multidisciplinary program, and stringent action against the sustainable institution. So, Colonel Shekhar, I believe you are there with us. It will be very nice if you can share with us. Do you agree that it is a great reform that is going to change the whole, education landscape? If you agree, why? If you don't agree, why?
Right. Good evening to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Right. Yeah. Teachers' Day greetings to all of you, each one of you, and thank you, Career Bacon and Sunanda ma'am, for having us. We hear a lot of good things about the policy. The policy on paper is great, but I would be very focused. We focused on implementation. 4Gs always have great deal of planning and training. Once the first bullet is fired, all your plans go down the drain. There is a lot more to be done. My own belief is that the policy talks the right language, but we require to put in our heart, soul, and effort into getting our teacher force trained in the right manner. Because with over 320 million students, both at the school as well as the college level. And with the COVID crisis now going to take away at least 5 years of our 20-year plan for the new education policy to come through, where is the money going to come from? We have to be innovative. We have to be thoughtful. This is not impossible. This is possible, but it requires the perfect storm wherein the government, the bureaucrats, the private education system, the public system, and all of us have to get together. Somebody said, nations have to respect teachers. I add something more. A nation has to respect its teachers and soldiers unconditionally. That's a nation which moves forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It's a small token of gratitude from us, and it is like just point blank, I would say. Wonderful to hear you, sir. With that, we had Dr. Vivek M. Nanoti with us, and he talked about the vision. Now is available with us in the form of NAP 2020 to address the whole challenges and in education, outdated syllabus, trained teachers, and infrastructure. So, if you can, give the insight on how does NAP differ from the previous policies? What changes it brings?
My greetings and good evening to all of you, and happy Teachers' Day to all present here. Thanks a lot, Sunanda ma'am and Kavita ma'am. It was pleasure talking to you earlier, and thank you for having me here. And it's really, it's a moral responsibility for teachers that we should talk about this. We should make parents, teacher, and other stakeholders aware, because they are looking forward कि क्या होने वाला है और ऐसा कुछ होने वाला भी है कि नहीं. But like in last my talk, I have talked about 3 important challenges. That was like, the syllabus need to be updated very strongly, and teachers training and infrastructure. But these things can happen only when, if you compare foreign universities with respect to our universities in terms of infrastructure, then it is the M factor, that is money. And so I strongly believe that unless we stick to that 6% GDP wala rule, it has been mentioned 2-3 times. It was in way back in 68 maybe wohi tha, 86 also said that 6%, and now 2020 also says 6% of the GDP should be spent on higher education, and it was like 2%, 3%, somewhere it was hardly 4%. So I think, like, if you really want to look forward on all these issues, then I feel that the most important agenda is the budget. And government must put in 6% or even 7% of GDP, unless you have a very good, because we are talking about technology in education. Currently, students do not have internet. How to go about online? They say online education for adult education. These are the very fundamental challenges, and I strongly believe that, of course, and they'll make a budgetary provision for this. And the important agenda is teachers training. They have a chapter talking on this. And then, it's a mission. It's mission Nalanda, it's mission Takshashila, that by 2035 and 2040. So we are looking for another 15-20 years to change. But immediate change we must see after it gets passed on. And in 2021-22, as they say, the students who are right now in 8th standard are really looking forward that they can choose something of their choice, and they can mix and match between commerce and science. Something like this is miraculous. This was most welcoming thing we have been waiting for this since long. This will stop brain drain as well, because other countries, they are so welcoming. They are focused about agenda and not the subject. They have some certain topic to learn about, and then if you need physics, if you need psychology, and if you need history, add all those. So this multidisciplinary and collaborative approach in education, which has been very rightly, drafted into all these things, included into it, let's hope that into implementation.
Surely, sir. The key is implementation to NAP success.
Yes.
We had a conversation with Ms. Sabina Keswani. Then we had Mr. A.P. Sharma. He talked about the framework for subject need to be designed to find the future prospect with choices. Mr. A.P. Sharma, if you can please, give your insight. Do you really think that it is a reform that is going to re-energize the whole education system? If so, why? If not, why? Please.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone, and A very happy Teachers' Day to all of you and all listeners right now and all those who will be listening on YouTube. Of course, whatever the framework has come, everybody is excited. Whenever the new thing comes, everybody is excited that this will bear fruits and will be great initiatives and great things will be there. So, of course, we live in a culture and we live in a society in which कहते हैं कि विश्वास पे दुनिया कायम है. So like that is the most important thing. And the trust factor, government has to put into the minds of social activists as well as students and parents, so that the next generation can think of certain kind of changes. But yes, there are some problems. Like other people have asked about the how much government will really be actually investing into it, with whether it will be 1.6% or will reach 6%, and whether we will be able to having 6% and 6% of how much. That is GDP is also going down. So there are certain kind of things, problems, but these are the challenges. But I would like to say that in the new education policy, what I am looking, the most important thing is India is different from rest of the world because of its culture, its heritage, and its social values. These must continue, and these must reflect in the curriculum, whether we are talking about the foundation education or we are talking about the higher education. But at foundation level, of course, Indianization is required. Why do we study so many kind of stories, this, that, and all? And whenever we talk about the English literature and all, we look for classics and all. There is no harm in that. But yes, at foundation level, there should be certain kind of small tales, small kind of expressions, small kind of adventurous trips, which make child understanding about their cultural heritage and values, which were the most important part of Indian society.
So true, sir. It talks about being global and think local. That's so wonderful, sir. Small token of gratitude from all of us. We had Mr. M.M. Pant with us, and then we had Mr. Ashok Pandey given his insight to us on NAP. Then we talked with Ms. Meenal Desai. She talked about learning and teaching are not to pass the exams, but to prepare young ones for ever-changing world. Meenal, if you can please come and give your insight on how does NAP differ from previous policies?
A lot has been already said, Kavita, and there is very little for me to add in here. But I think the last policy came in some 30 years ago. So definitely this is a breath of fresh air. And it differs in terms of how it looks at education. It refuses to see the child as somebody who is there to look at marks and who is a churner of mathematical formulas. It is looking at a more humanistic outlook, and it wants students to be multidisciplinary, to have equal focus for science and arts, something that is very new for the Indian mindset. And yeah, it is definitely a step forward on that front. The implementation, the policy, the rules will probably decide how it actually shapes in our life. But hoping that this is a step in the right direction, and our children are looked upon as more than marks. Just praying for that. And happy Teachers' Day to everybody here.
Thank you so much, Meenal. Small token of gratitude from us. And we had Mr. Dr. Krishna Maram, and he talked about the digital and skill universities are required for India. Dr. Maram, if you can please share an insight about how does this NAP is going to re-energize the higher education system? You agree or you don't agree, and why?
Thank you, and it is a pleasure to interact all of you on the occasion of the Teachers' Day, where we are celebrating in the country. So to talk about the digital universities, I think most of you people agree with me today. Closely 1.5 billion students, they are unable to attend classes across the world in the campuses. So when it comes to India, again, we have a largest education system in the country with a closely 1,000 plus universities, and we have 49,000 colleges and 980,000 schools. With all these closely 360 million students, they are unable to attend classes in the campus. And today, so much infrastructure, so much money we invested building all these universities and colleges are unable to use in an effective way in the last 5 to 6 months during this COVID, not only in India, across the world. So, but majority of these universities and colleges mainly concentrated on acquiring the infrastructure, investing majority of their investment on only the land and building, not on the technology side. So that is the reason I think the new education policy also talking about online education, bringing new skills, new technologies. So in this scenario, in India, we don't have even a single digital university as on today. So that is the reason I was telling internationally today, if you look at some of the best edtech platforms like Khan Academy, Coursera, in India, if you talk about Baiju, Yuna Academy, they made their market capitalization in billions of dollars, and they are able to become one of the best with the numbers, with the money, with the reach. So we need that kind of provision in our policy guidelines to set up digital universities that definitely can help not only digital, even a skill universities to identify the right skills with the people where we can transform the youth to get a better jobs in this scenario, in this economic down. And we are now currently the unemployment rate, which is the last 5 decades lowest. So in this kind of a scenario, we need more universities, but not a traditional regular universities. What we have already, we have enough. I think we need the digital and skill universities.
Thank you so much, sir. It's an honor to have you. Small token of gratitude from us. And we also discussed in detail as a career mentoring, because the child need a guidance, their perspective. So Mr. Alok Bansal, he shared his insight with us. And then we had Mr. C. Radhakrishnan. He shared his perspective on national education policy. We discussed with Mr. S.C. Tiwari, and he talked about teachers need to develop a creative aspect. Then only they can inspire students in the class. So, Mr. Tiwari, if you can please, give your perspective on how does NAP differs from the previous policies? What changes it brings?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a very happy Teachers' Day to all the teachers and the members of the panel. I would say that I agree with what Mr. Hari Krishna has just shared with. As nearly more than 1.5 billion students who are impacted because of this pandemic. And the way this pandemic has shown us that it's going to be the blended learning time in times to come. There's no point of in creating those infrastructure, but what matters is create infrastructure which is technically sound, because even in NP and NEP, the integration of technology is emphasized, and this is the need of the hour today. Of course, when we say that how it differs, it has really opened up the windows for the new generation in terms of providing liberal approach. I would say, you see, the time is that now the student realize that there is no, loss after completing a certain years of study. So I complete 1 year of study and I get something credit for it. I complete 2 years of studies and I get credit for that also. And I leave it and then I come back. So both multiple entry and exits are available as per the need of the student in today's time, as per the new NEP. Now, thinking of its, you know, I would say multidisciplinary approach, that is one thing which is the need of the hour again. So I am now a student of medical uh, stream. I can very well opt for music as minor. So
So true,
the options
sir.
are so many as far as the student choice of studies is concerned. Is the examination again impressed on online also? So I think is I would say all plus 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 when it comes to the advantage of the student.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much, sir. A small token of appreciation from us. This is for you, sir. And Miss Sabina Keswani, we had a conversation with her, and she talked about the knowledge of new age courses like computational thinking, coding that will be part of education. That has been taken care of by the NFP. So, Miss Sabina, if you can please come and share your insight on. Do you agree that NAP will re-energize the education system? Ms. Sabina Keswani, are you there, ma'am?
Kavita, I believe she is not there right now. Uh, just express her gratitude, and in case if she has to add
Okay.
certain things, she can add it.
That's a small token of gratitude from all of us. And we had a conversation with Mr. Hiten Shah, again giving the insight on how the student need to be guided with the new education policy. There will be a lot of confusion. Then we had Dr. Pathasarthi Mishra. He talked about the focus on having multidisciplinary college in every district by 2030 is a promising idea as well. So, Dr. Patha, if you can please come and share your views on how NAP is going to overall and re-energize the higher education system. Your insight, and do you agree or not with that? Please. Dr. Pathasarthi?
Okay, Kavita, I believe.
He's there.
Yeah, but I believe he is not unmuted or maybe not present here. So yeah, he is now unmuted.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Can you see me?
No, we cannot see you.
But we can hear you, sir, now.
Excuse me?
We can hear you, but we can't see you, sir.
Just let me.
I think there's some technical issue, maybe network issue. So we'll come back to Dr. Patha again. So, sir, it is a small token of gratitude from all of us. And with that, I invite Sunanda, if you can please take from here further. Sunanda? Okay, sir, he's here. Dr. Patha, yeah, now we can see you, sir.
Thank you so much, and thank you all the speakers.
Dr. Partha, yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. We can hear you now and we can see you.
Yes, ma'am. Tell me.
Sir, how does the NAP differ from the other policy? If you can share your views on that.
Uh, First of all, very good afternoon. Myself is, I am Dr. Parthasarathi Mishra. I am by profession as an IS officer. I have served in higher education department as a special secretary and looked after two of the university as a registrar and director. First of all, my greetings on the Teachers' Day. I congratulate all the architects of the minds of the students today. In fact, they are important. And as you told me that how this policy is different from the earlier policies, I would say that this new education policy 2020, it has a very distinct features, and it makes a complete departure from the all earlier policy pronouncement, be it 68 or be it 86 or 2009. Everywhere, every time there are some amendments, but this policies is a really great departure from all of them. If you look at the earlier policies, we have found that the more focus was on access and equity, but this time the parameters have been broadened. Now we have inclusion, affordability, and accountability. Three more broad parameters have been added to this. So my opinion that this policies makes a complete changeover from the earlier focus. The very fact that government is bringing about a new education policy, that means how the government is serious about it. Some of our esteemed speakers told about that the GDP 6% has always been there, but this time the kind of framework they have made, I mean the kind of budgetary allocation that has been indicated, that we are very hopeful that government's focus is working. The second important thing is that what I believe that the earlier focus has always been textual. Now it has changed from textual to pedagogical. I mean, it is now a student's complete improvement in his cognitive sphere is more important. That has been focused upon. The third thing which I believe that the autonomy a student gets in choosing a curriculum or in selecting the multiple entry and exit. These are actually, the student was hardly get any chance to do this kind of, and this is the requirement of the time. That is the why it is changed. And
yes, thank you so much for your insight, sir. And it's an honor to have you. And so it's a small token of appreciation from us. Now I invite Sunanda. Sunanda, please come and take this whole event further.
Thank you so much, Kavita. I hope I am audible to all the audience. So, Kavita, okay, perfect. So, once again, happy Teachers' Day to all and the people who have actually shared their insights on the new education policy on the helicopter view. Thank you so much. We are going to have a length and breadth discussion on what is the impact on higher education, what is the impact on the hits and misses in the school education. We will have the panelists who will discuss. So now I would like to invite someone who is really making us proud. That is the digital ambassador of India, someone who is leading the vision India, digital India, someone who has been working very hard with all the people to put India into a digital landscape. Without much of the delay, may I request Dr. Harikrishna Marim to come and share that how India is the economic land of opportunities. And today being a Teachers' Day, we all know that everyone has been hit by the pandemic, and I'm sure he is having something in his box which he will share and share the things that what exactly is going to come to us in terms of the Digital India initiatives. So over to Dr. Harikrishna Marim. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sunanda ji, for bringing me here. Good afternoon and digital wishes from Vision Digital India. It's wonderful to connect all the learned professors and academic leaders from across the globe. I can see through this digital platform. So my topic is I'm going to talk more on India, a land of economic opportunities. So I think this topic looks to be kind of when where we are in this COVID scenario, where across the world, closely 40 million people are affected with the disease. In India, again, we are going to touch closely around 40 lakh cases. Then the economy, hope you people might have read in latest newspapers, 23.1% negative growth, and the 100 trillion economy of this world is affected closely around 29 to 30% with just a short span of 7 to 8 months. So in this kind of a scenario, how India can become a land of economic opportunities. So this is the biggest question to not only every Indian, but people from across the world. So what I'm going to give in the next 14 to 15 minutes is the kind of opportunities what presently we have, and what will be the future opportunities India will have compared than other people or other countries. So today, when we talk about 100 trillion economy of the globe, India is closely around 2.9 trillion economy with 1.35 billion people, and we call India is the demographic dividend country, where we have a largest young population. So whether this young population is going to be helpful or it is going to be a disaster is again, there is a huge confusion to everyone. Because with such a large number of population in the world and with a large number of youth, so how we can able to create job opportunities to this youth is a biggest challenge in front of India. So looking at all this kind of a scenario and what is happening around us, I want to take all of you back to 100 years. Like today we are in 2020, September 5th. I'm taking all you people 100 years back. That is 1920, September 5th. So our Indian economy at that time was just 1%, the GDP I'm talking. So now we are in negative growth, but there is a time where we touched closely the double-digit magic number of 10.2%, and now again we are come back, and hopefully we are thinking of moving this GDP into much brighter side, reaching 5 trillion Indian economy in the next 5 years. So this is not only a dream of our government, this is a dream of every Indian. The reason is this dream is going to create large number of opportunities to the youth, to the entrepreneurs, to the professionals, to everyone. So imagine today we are celebrating the Teachers' Day. A teacher, a professor, the Palli Radhakrishna, a Bharata Ratna, can able to become the president of largest democratic country, that is India, and a small paper boy, Dr. Abdul Kalam, from a small town called Rameswaram, can able to become a Rashtrapati, and a paper boy can able to become a president of India. So that shows the kind of opportunities today the Indians we have. So the reason is simple. If you look at the largest economy in this world, definitely that is the US, with a more than 20 trillion market capitalization of the country, with less than 34 crore population, that is a 340 crore population. So, but if you look at minute details of this US success and US economy, the secret is not only the US companies, it is a combination of various nations. So today the US 20 trillion contribution majorly comes from countries like people from India, people from China, people from other countries. So the contribution from Indian people living in US is closely 15%. So that is the reason today, if you look at the top 10 companies of the world, including the Google, including the Microsoft, including the IBM. So these all companies are headed none other than Indians. So the reason is a simple, these all Indians who are doing extremely well in the global scenario, their basic education is happened in India. So what I am trying to say with a small story here, the tallest building in this world is the Burj Khalifa, which is in Dubai. So how they can able to become a build this tallest building is because the foundation is so strong. That is the reason they are able to build so taller building. The same way, the foundation which we built in India with the students, with the kind of all you people, the faculty, the professors, the academic leaders, is so strong. That is the reason today the Indian people are able to build the tallest companies of the world. That is the secret. So coming from these example, today, if you talk about the 2.9 trillion economy of India, as of now, the major contribution comes from the service industry. And again, during this COVID, the most successful companies which are doing extremely well is only the technological companies. So today, still a further expansion, further recruitments and increments and the shared movement is happening only in technology companies, whether it is a edtech companies like Baiju, which this company with just existence of less than 3 to 4 years of experience, today this company can able to become the biggest edtech company of the world, the number one edtech company of the world. The same way in India, we now moving towards creating a large wealth of bringing new innovations. So in the last 100 years journey, if you look, the kind of a transformation happened in 100 years journey of India is mainly the knowledge, the infrastructure, the creativity. These areas we are doing extremely well. That is the reason, hope some of you people might have seen just a couple of days back, there was a report that India's position in innovation is somewhere near to 40. So this is a great thing for a country like India, where the economy was so slow. So today, when you talk about the largest startup and ecosystem in this country, so we have a few examples where we already overtaken the Silicon Valley. The place where I am sitting right now is Bangalore. We already overtaken the Silicon Valley, that is California, with the number of people working in IT sector. So today, every fourth person in Bangalore, we have a population of 1.1 crore population in the Bangalore city, where out of this 1.1 crore population, 25%, that is closely around 28 lakh people are involved in technology. So, and if you look at the number of startups which are there in Bangalore, already we are overtaken the Silicon Valley. So this is a kind of a mindset we have. And when everybody was talking about the COVID and negative growth, India is the only one country, especially in technology, in pharmaceutical, we are doing extremely well. For example, today, the medicines which are used to treat the COVID-19 situations like chloroquine, antivirals, are exported from India, which is again manufactured by Indian companies, to across the world, more than 100 countries. And today, India become a destination for pharmaceuticals, a destination for technology. So there are a lot of solutions, a lot of new ideas in technology are invented here. That is the reason even during this COVID situation, a company which is a very newcomer to the market, the Geo, which is again part of Reliance Group, is able to get closely $18 billion investment to this company in last 2 months. And with these investment coming from companies like Google, companies like Microsoft, companies like Amazon, companies like Facebook, which shows the opportunity of India. So the journey of Indian opportunity, I can say three things which transformed Indian economy. And these three things are, one is the internet revolution, that is the connectivity, which happened I think 3 decades back in India. And the second biggest revolution which happened in India is mobile technology, where out of 1.35 billion people, we have 110 crore mobile connections in India. So today 70% of our phones moved from basic phone to smartphones. And today, India is a destination where the mobile connectivity and internet service is priced at lowest in the world. And India is going to get a 5G technology as an early adopter in the world. So all these things are helping India in a very positive sign, not only by Indians. This is told by some of the best consulting companies of the world, like Goldman Sachs, KPMG, E&Y, McKinsey. So these all companies given a prediction that if any multinational company of Fortune 500, they want to make a money and they want to grow faster, then the destination is not a China, it is a India as current 2020. That is the reason some of the largest mobile manufacturing companies like Foxconn, they moved their manufacturing destination to India. And today the $2 trillion company, the number one company of the world, Apple, manufactures their iPhones from India. And now the iPhone is already available across the world, which is made in India. So these all activities, initiatives started, I think, in the last 20-25 years. And the economy is, we are seeing whether the government is Congress or BJP, not much of impact. The economy is going. The initiatives are going. So now we are celebrating 25 years of mobility, that is mobile phone availability in this country, where India is becoming the number one user of mobile phone. So these all things looking very positive. The manufacturing facility is going to create large number of employment opportunity in India to our youth, because in India we always say the advantage of India is a youth. So definitely with the advantage of this youth and technology and knowledge power, we are going to become a largest economy in this world. And definitely the 5 trillion dream, what we are aiming in the 5 years, with the help of all of us, we are going to see the dream into reality in coming years. So that is my views on India, a land of economic opportunities here. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really awesome that you have mentioned that what are the 3 technological revolutions that has come. And I'm sure with the guidance to India in terms of the Digital India movement, and you being the brand ambassador for Digital India, and you're the vision brand person, I'm sure there would be certain things which would be coming up. I have one question, though I have a couple of questions, but I would be raising the pertinent question that has come from an audience who is based out of, Delhi, and it's in YouTube that I have received. You're saying that India is the land of economic opportunities and everything. Now, what according to you should be the curriculum inclusion wherein the Digital India movement can be accelerated? So, if you can share some insights about it.
Yeah. So today, when we are celebrating Teachers' Day, actually, India is a superpower for the knowledge from thousands of years. We created universities like Nalanda, Takshashila, where that time there is no transportation, no flights, no proper roads, but still people used to walk for a month and used to come and take admission in Nalanda and Takshashila from around the world. So, but in the last 100 years, what exactly happening in our Indian education system? We are not focusing more on innovations. We are not focusing more on practical orientation. So, for example, I was giving a small research which happened in US in one of the leading university called Columbus State University, where they're taken a sample size of around 9,500 Indian students who settled, who studied in US universities and doing extremely well. The reason how they have become successful and they're able to work in some of the best companies of the world. So the reasons what they told is when they're working in they're doing their studies, they're also working simultaneously along with their studies. So 90% of the students in this research expressed that their work experience helped them to become successful in their life when they are in US today. So that kind of education system we don't have in India. We don't have even 4 to 5% of the people who work and learn. So we always focus more on textbook reading and producing in exams. So somebody was rightly telling in the last 34, 35 years, there is not much changes in education system, in policy. In the last 15, 20 years, whatever books I studied in management degree, even after 24, 25 years, still people prefer and reading same books. Even the authors are no more, but that books are, the cover pages are changed and still we are reading. So I think India needs a lot of changes, a lot of innovations in our education system that will take us as a superpower in this world with a young population with great mindset.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a valuable insights, especially on the Teachers' Day, where you have shared that what exactly is India going to take care of. This is a small token of gratitude from our end for sharing and enlightening with an insightful talk on India, a land of economic opportunities, for all the professionals who are attending both on Zoom as well as on YouTube. So, thank you so much for joining in, sir.
It's my pleasure and wishing you all the best on all your initiatives, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Now, with this, we will move on to our chief guest. Well, before I introduce him, I have to tell you all that he has 6 times beaten the international record in media. He's the producer of 2,900 short films, given an opportunity to more than 10,000 filmmakers around the world. He is the director of a film school which is 27 years old. He churned 19,000 media professionals hailing from 145 countries, which is a record. He designed 55 courses in media. Now, the basic reason why Mr. Sandeep Marwa, who is our chief guest, is with us, because we would like you to actually focus a lot on, there are sectoral skill councils which are working. And believe me, when we are mentoring to the students, we come across engineering, medical, there are 7 degrees which people always talk about. They don't talk about any other careers. Reason being, either that are not very familiar or people are not focusing on that. And today we bring a different, दृष्टिकोण जिसे हिंदी में हम बोल सकते हैं, so that people can actually understand that what is Digital India initiative, which Dr. Hari Krishna Maram has said. And now I would like to welcome Mr. Sandeep Marwa, who is our chief guest. He is the chancellor for AFT University. He is also the founder of Noida Film City, a very famous place in Delhi NCR. And also he is one of the renowned person which you can all witness. So, Mr. Marwa, over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Let me start with two very important lines. कि सुर बिन मिले ना सरस्वती, गुरु बिन मिले लंक्यान, जल बिन हंसा यूं मिले, जैसे भरत मिले भगवान. The fact is, it is a very auspicious day. It's a birthday of Bharat Ratna Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, our former president of India. And he very well said that teachers should be the best minds in the country. That's what he said. And I think very appropriate so many years back, and which is still valid. And before I move further, let me explain to you the meaning of these two lines. To compose a music, what you need is the amalgamation of 7 swaras, and then only you can make music. To make swan look beautiful, you need a pond full of water. A very powerful man like Bharat also needed a guru like Lord Rama. And I have always believed that if you really want to build up your career, if you really want to carve out a wonderful career out of yourself, then what you need is a wonderful institution and a very powerful and dedicated teacher. And with these words, I extend my heartiest congratulations to each and everyone who's listening right now here, and all the people, teachers, organizers who's been listening this. A very, very happy Teachers' Day. My dear friends, I'm very happy. I've been very quietly listening to the last two speakers, so well said. And yes, to some extent, we all are worried because of this pandemic. But then, trust me, I'm very positive. I have realized that we have to fight with this coronavirus, and we have to come up and do the needful, the required things, and we just cannot sit idle even at home. रात भर का है मेहमा अंधेरा और किसके रोके रुका है सवेरा. The reality is that a good morning is bound to be there, if not today, maybe after 3-4 months, by March, April, we'll all be over with this coronavirus, this pandemic. And I think we should be in a position to do whatever you want to do in life in a most regular manner. That's what I believe. The fact is that even if you are sitting back home, well, it's very important to pay my gratitude to all the doctors, hospital, nurses, hospital staff, all the police forces, paramilitary forces, and also especially to all the media persons who have gone out of way to support and who have gone out of way to provide best of the information possible to all of you sitting back home. Minute by minute, they've been informing you the exact position of this country, state, town, and you know what is happening. And thanks to media, that the country like India with 1.3 billion people, we are even now, right now, in a very, very controlled position, though it could have been a disaster without the full information given by media otherwise. Well, my dear friends, before I move further towards my own industry, which is the media and entertainment industry, I'm recollecting another two very important lines. कि सभी दिशाओं से शुभ सुंदर, भाव विचार भरे नित अंतर, पुण्य धरा बन जाए स्वर्ग ये, मेरे यत्नों से करुणा कर. What I'm trying to tell you here is whether it is north, south, east or west, whether you're in India or abroad, whether you're on the top of the hill or you're standing at a seashore, whether you are in a lush green garden and looking at some colorful flowers, or maybe looking at the most beautiful woman on earth. But the fact is there are two things which are much more beautiful than what you can see with your naked eyes. And these two things are your thinking and your feelings. And the best part is that both the things are right within you. You don't even need eyes for that. On this very auspicious day, let's pray, hey Lord, give me good thinking, give me good feelings so that I can do good deeds. And through my good karmas, I would love to convert this earth into heaven. That's what I believe, and I'm sure you will also believe in the same. My dear friends, the whole media and entertainment industry is actually based on these two very important principles, because the job of the Media, Film, TV Institute or of the industry is to evoke, to enhance the emotions and take you to a point where you should get converted into a good human being. And when I say think, that means you really have to think out of the box when you are in this beautiful industry. And amalgamation of these two very important subjects takes you to better heights and makes you a smart and a very alert media person. Well, my dear friends, if you take sum total of all the industries of the world, you'll be surprised to note that glamour business is the biggest business on this earth. When it comes to India, we are the sixth biggest industry in this country. Media and entertainment industry is touching sixth one. We have touched something like 2,35,000 crore rupees turnover in 2019. And our projection for, let's say, 2025 is something like 3 lakh crores, which we are definitely going to, because this industry is going to take a very big jump. No doubt this industry has been badly hampered, has been also touched by coronavirus. It has been hurt by COVID-19, but then the industry is going to take a very powerful jump, and we're going to touch a much higher percentage growth-wise and much bigger turnover money-wise. And my dear friends, when I say media and entertainment industry, it's very important to note that I'm talking about print, radio, television, cinema, new media, events, theme parks, music, gaming, media education. All together, we say media and entertainment industry. Imagine this is one industry which has employed so far almost 10 million people. And not only that, it's a direct employment which we are giving in this industry. Another 10 million people this industry is supporting when it comes to tourism, hospitality, catering and food, interior designing, fashion, design, and all those different industries. This industry is supporting so many people in other industries. That's how we work. That's what the whole system is all about. Well, let me give you small tips about each and every segment. When I talk about print, you'll be surprised to note that we have something like 40,000 newspapers in this country. We have something like 4,000 magazines in this country, and the largest Hindi and English selling newspaper is also published from India, and not from UK, mind you, English. And then when I talk about radio station, we have something like 325 radio stations which are working round the clock. When I talk about television, we have something like 950 channels, probably largest in the world, and out of which we still have the largest number of news channels, something like 400 news channels in 28 different languages. You can well imagine the requirement, the need of this industry. When I talk about cinema, then I'm sure you know that India is the largest film producing country in the world. We have something like 11,000 theaters, 1.5 crore people watch cinema every day. Leave this pandemic time aside. And we sell something like 5 billion tickets in a year. It's the largest in the world, much more than what Hollywood sells for their own films, because they sell something like 3.5 billion. And they make something like 450 films in a year. And we are making something like 2,000 films in 28 different languages. The size of the industry is huge. Indian film industry, and especially the Hindi cinema, is the real brand ambassador of Indian culture all over the world. So print, radio, television, cinema, and when I talk about new media, I think this is the time when new media has actually taken over the country, and which we have given a digital India, a beautiful name to it. We have something like 120 crore mobile phones, and out of which 40% of the mobile phones are smartphones. When I say smartphones, that means they are having an internet connection, and you can click a picture, make a movie, you can use WhatsApp, you can use all those apps which you really want to use on your laptop or on your desktop. So this is how this whole industry has grown, and we need something like around about 8 to 10,000 trained and every year. Fortunately or unfortunately, there are not much film, television, and media schools in this country dedicated. I'm talking about, though many universities have started small segments, small tiny departments in their universities. But I'm lucky that because when Prime Minister wanted to have a university to support the whole media, to support the whole film and television, media and entertainment industry, that responsibility has showered on my shoulders, and I am lucky. Now I'm chancellor of the first ever university which is totally dedicated to films, television, media and entertainment industry, which is called now AAFT, University of Media and Arts, right in Raipur. Well, the fact is, my dear friends, that this is the one industry which is meant for passionate people. It is meant for all those who really want to achieve something in life. Someone who's got goals in life, somebody who wants to express themselves to the world. And this is the industry where you can really get into any of these streams. I mean, imagine like AAFT University and AAFT Noida. We have designed something like 70 different courses, right from 3 months to 3 years to 4 years, and we have 14 different colleges. To name few, probably. It's got School of Cinema, School of Performing Arts, School of Skill Development, School of Mass Communication and Journalism, School of PR Events and Advertising, School of Photography, School of Fashion and Design, School of Interior Designing, School of Graphics and Animation, School of Hospitality and Tourism, School of Digital Media, which is the latest one, and Business School, a Management School, and a Law School. And universities offering a large number of courses to your choice. And what a wonderful exposure you can get into these kind of universities. Imagine 19,000 students who have already passed out from this institution from 145 countries of the world. And I'm lucky that we could create 6 world records in media. And you are learning in 100 acres infrastructure of Noida Film City, probably one of the finest studio of North India, because Marwa Studio is the first professional studio of North India. And this is one institution where we have our own newspaper, own radio station, own television station, own film production house, television production house, audio, video, and film studios. We have our own festivals. We have our own research center, and you name it and we have it. Idea is to have 360-degree education. Once you are right into the institution, you just don't have to look out with lots of workshops, seminars, symposium, interaction programs, foreign faculty, guest faculty, film star, press releases, film releases, film launchings. It's a mini industry right here in Noida Film City with us. I can say that. And I think, this is one industry which gives you ample opportunity not only to earn bread for yourself, but actually to express yourself, to be in limelight, to be in, to be called an achiever. This is one industry where you really have to work hard, mind you, because this is one industry which takes you to heights in a shortest period of time. And that's the advantage once you are in media and entertainment industry. Well, my dear friends, there's a lot to talk about the institution. There's a lot to talk about media and entertainment industry. I know that there is a short of time, and probably there are a few questions which will be coming after I just going to stop here. I can only say that कि काम शुरू करते नहीं भय से नीचे लोग, मध्यम तजते बीच में देख विषम संयोग, पर उत्तम वे लोग जो हर दुर्गम पथ झेल, दृढ़ता से बढ़ते कदम बाधाओं को ठेल. I belong to film, television, and media fraternity, and this is one business where we have never ever bothered to divide the society on the basis of caste, creed, religion, region, color, status. We have only one religion, and that is called entertainment. But still, I've gone out of way to divide the society on the basis of three major segments. People who are lazy bums, people who have 100 excuses for one job, I have categorized them C class. So you have to save yourself from these kind of people. People with little persuasion, little motivation, they may get into some business, but the minute they see a bit of the hindrance, they try to run away from the battlefield. I have categorized them into B class. But people who have goals in life, people who want to achieve something in their business, people who have a lot of motivation, people who have a zest, enthusiasm, they want to do something, they are honest to the profession, they are hard workers. I have put all these kind of people into A class because they are the people who ultimately turns out to be the achiever, and the bottom line, the mantra to success is a very strong determination. So my dear friends, choose your subject, develop a beautiful determination for yourself, jump into the best of the institution possible, and trust me, no looking back, India is going to be a superpower, if not today, maybe tomorrow. With all these words, once again, thank you very much for inviting me here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. It was awesome listening to you, quite motivating, quite energizing, and giving such a lucrative figure about the media entertainment thing. I know there are people who are actually looking forward to ask the questions, but as we are just bang on the schedule, we would like to
Okay.
ask you and have more questions in one of the YouTube interview which we will be conducting very shortly with
It's
you.
okay. It's okay.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And this is a small token of gratitude from
Oh,
our end.
Acha. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. God bless you and have a wonderful time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Bye.
I'm sorry, audience, for disappointing you, but I'll have to move on. And we have, someone who is really a person who made news in few days. None other than Neelakantan Bhanu Prakash, who is the fastest human calculator. And with this, I would request Bhanu and Siddharth to start. You have just banked 10 minutes. I don't know how you guys are going to do. All the best.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you. Hello, Siddharth. How are you doing?
I'm fine, Banu. So thank you, Sunanda ma'am. So good evening to you all. A very happy Teachers' Day to you all. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to all my teachers who have helped me in shaping my personality and build my career. Youngster Entrepreneur Next is a forum to ignite the young minds. We have impacted more than 1,500 students in last 5 months. I'm very thankful to the Education e-CONCLAVE for giving me an opportunity to have a fireside chat with someone who has been the fastest human calculator and also the Olympic gold medal winner. He's none other than Neelakanta Bhanu Prakash. So welcome, Bhanu.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing fine. Happy Teachers' Day to everyone as well. Yeah.
So let me tell you, Bhanu, that we have about 10 minutes. Sure. So I request to you to be crisp and to the point.
Absolutely.
And feel free to speak Hindi or English as you're comfortable.
जो भी सही है, सब कुछ बात.
Yes. And let us end this with a positive note and with optimism.
Absolutely.
So let's start, Bhanu. So Bhanu, my first question is that you are a live example of the career beacon tagline, your passion drives your career. So throw some light that how did you convince yourself and your parents to leave engineering and pursue mathematics honors?
So absolutely. I mean, before I go ahead with that, I think a lot of people here, I hold 4 world records and 50 Limca records and an Olympic medal win for being the fastest human calculator in the world, racing past the speed of Shakuntala Devi and people in the past. And I'm an edutech entrepreneur who works on eradicating math phobia across the country. So jumping from engineering to mathematics, as you know, I mean, it's obviously a very big deal, right? I mean, going into any field which is not the regular orthodox technology, engineering, or the science itself, which is going into medicine, going across any of these, regardless. I mean, when I was 16, I broke all the records which I have had, and I mean, as Sunanda ma'am introduced me, someone who gained name in a day, in a couple of weeks. that is an effort of an entire 15 years. So, I mean, it was definitely hard. First, for me, I would say that I usually always go behind whatever drives me the most. For example, I was into speed calculation, world records break karna tha, to theek hai, chale jao. And it was definitely tough to convince my parents and myself to a large extent to say that math is a career which I would take, because I was in IIIT Hyderabad for a year. So, yeah, I mean, I would say that you follow your heart. And I mean, if a lot of people will say that build on what you want strategically, one after the other, one after the other, I personally don't believe in that. I personally believe in the idea saying that get yourself skilled in a lot of things and eventually it'll make sense. So yeah, I mean, that's the reason why I thought, okay, my heart says go do mathematics. And yeah, today I have a few published papers and whatnot. So yeah, a good way ahead.
Very rightly said, Banu. It was very much inspiring. So my second question is that how does it feel to be the fastest human calculator? And have any courses or workshops to
All right. So firstly, I would say that being the world's fastest human calculator is a definitely very good feeling, because I mean, सबने इधर तो शकुंतला देवी की मूवी तो देखी होगी शायद, Amazon Prime में आई है, सब तो देखी होगी क्या है. So I personally believe that arithmetic and calculations are a way to exercise your brain. Just like कि ऐसे उसेन बोल्ट भागता है 100 मीटर का रेस 9 सेकंड में, speed calculations भी ऐसी चीज है. It's something similar where you go on and race past the speed of a calculator, race past the speed of every other human being. So being the fastest human calculator in the world definitely is a very enthralling experience. At the same time, ये बहुत ज़्यादा responsibility चीज़ की tag है. Reason is that I mean, a lot of educationists here, every one of you understand here when I say कि 3 out of every 4 people in the country and across the globe are math phobic. जैसे कि math से डर होता है और math कभी करना ही नहीं है. And this majorly is the decision factor when people take their career opportunities. People go ahead and do something about it. So I mean, project math and vision math is something which I have headed and started across a year ago with Exploring Infinities. मेरा जो firm है जहाँ हम courses लेते हैं math phobia eradication के लिए, basically to make people think mathematically. And how do you do that? We have impacted over 3 to 5 lakh kids. I mean, why is that bracket? Is because of 1.5 lakh kids have been digital, but 3 lakh kids in total on eradicating math phobia, having conversations with people saying कि math ये गणित जो है ना ये बुरी चीज नहीं है, इससे बहुत सारा we can have fun. And absolutely, I think a couple of people have been mentioning here math phobia, stage fear. They're two extreme different sides of the same things, which is self-confidence के लिए mathematics plays a very key role. And actually, I'm proud to say that today with my firm Exploring Infinities, we've touched the lives of 3 lakh kids. And the vision way ahead is, abhi right now, I've been doing global programs, global shows to showcase कि देखो math is fun. अभी देखो I'm like every single one of you. Although I hold world records, I'm 20. I'm 20 years old. And I do global programs and outreaches to make that possible. And Exploring Infinities for corporate schools and corporate school students, we have had extensive programs called Turn on the Computer in You and Math Result, जो you can find on expinfi.com, exploringinfinities.com. जहाँ we're changing the way in which math is perceived, one classroom at a time. And yeah, I think the vision ahead is to make and globally eradicate math phobia. And that is something which I am aspiring to do through brand ambassadorship programs. Abhi recently we've gotten approached by multiple high commissions across the globe to do Indian education spread across the world, where we talk and have conversation about how mathematics education has to be redefined. And no better day than today to speak about it, because as you know, mathematical learning is majorly about how teacher tweaks the entire learning experience for the student, and that makes or break the student's interest towards mathematics. And that's the conversation we are driving. We are collaborated with the government of Telangana, government of Andhra Pradesh here, but we envision to see that we will become a global success.
Very well said. Very well said. And in this question only, you have answered my next question. That my next question was to use that what were your future plans? But you told that you want to eradicate the fear of maths from a child.
And make math fun at the end of the day. कि देखो भाई अभी I think a lot of people are like maths के लोगों क्या होते हैं पढ़ाकू लोग होते हैं देखो ऐसे ऐसे चश्मे पहन के आते हैं और लाइब्रेरी में बैठते हैं पढ़ते रहते हैं. That's something a stigma which we would want to change, and that's something which we've been doing by getting engagement programs जो बच्चे हैं जो kids हैं to make them understand and visualize the world around them with mathematics and play games. For example, I mean right now you see the background behind me is the background which we use for playing games called Racing Against a Calculator, and we do this with kids. We have several online games which people play and eventually learn. So we believe that experiential way of learning and teaching kids is the way ahead. And we've been collaborating with students, career counselors, and for that matter, colleges and big edutech companies like Unacademy and stuff to see how this conversation of math is fun can go globally rather than saying कि math देखो technology में use होती है, math देखो science में use होती है. जैसे देखो, I mean, a small example here, which I think I would want to leave everyone with, because I think in ending on a positive note, is probably a food for thought for a lot of people who are here. I think teachers and educationists and a lot of people who are I think commendable in their own works. Thoughts are, हम language कैसे पढ़ते हैं, English या हिंदी? हमको पहले मोरल स्टोरीज बताया जाते हैं, उसके बाद कबीर के दोहे बताए जाते हैं, उसके बाद ना हम देखते हैं कि देखो ये कहानी है, ये पोएम है, ये है, उसके बाद फ्रीडम फाइटर्स के बारे में पढ़ते हैं, उसके बाद हम ग्रामर के ऊपर आते हैं. दैट्स व्हेन वी लर्न एडजेक्टिव्स, कंजंक्शंस, टू इन्फिनिटिव्स, जेरांड्स, सिमिलीज, मेटाफॉर्स. हम ये नहीं करते कि एलकेजी स्टूडेंट को देखिए ये देते नहीं है ना. हम एलकेजी स्टूडेंट को बताने के देखो ये को एक स्ट्रक्चर बनाने के लिए ये देखो ये एडजेक्टिव होती है, ये कंजंक्शन होती है, ये वर्ब होती है. In that sense, people will be scared of language. In a similar sense, mathematics में हम यही करते हैं. हम जाके बोलते हैं कि देखो ये method है भाई. We don't tell them how to explore the world around them with this. And that's the reason why we have phobia. And envision myself with, I mean, I have the tag fastest human calculator Instagram पे या जो भी है. I would say that my vision ahead is to eradicate math phobia, make math fun, and do it across every state, across every country, and by initiating projects with the government and redefining what education policy and how it uses math education as a key for understanding things globally.
You are doing a great job by helping the nation and students to eradicate their fear from the maths. With this, we come to the end of our fireside chat. It was great listening to you. From here, I would request Kavita ma'am and Sunanda ma'am to drive the session ahead. Thank you, Bhanu.
Thank you, Siddharth. And thank you so much, Bhanu, because you guys were really wonderful on that. And may I request my colleague Kavita to put forward something for both Bhanu. Yes, Bhanu, we want to tell you that as promised, we would like you to have you on our cover page. In fact, we wanted to have you this year, this edition, but we have 3 winners who are going to be announced today, who are in the school section, who would be there on the cover page. So we shift you to the next edition. So this is the cover page, which you can see. And of course, we are going to have a cover story with you and a channel interview, which we have discussed in past. So with this, Kavita, let's move on. And we have to give Nilakant Bhanu Prakash a sincere gratitude for joining us for the fireside chat, for sharing your insights, and you're removing the fear of maths. Believe me, even I was afraid of maths.
We all are.
Yeah, we all are. So I'm sure your vision is really good. Thank you so much for joining us with a very short notice. And Siddharth, you have given a different dimension of yours today. Sincere thanks to you and gratitude to you, because for bringing such a young chap to our show and giving a cherry highlight to this. Thank you so much, Siddharth, for joining us. It was pleasure to have you all. Well, the things does not end here. Yen, as Siddharth has said, that he has started Youngster Entrepreneur Nexus. Unfortunately, his person who has started with him has to leave in between. So it is now pillar driven by Siddharth. So Yen is inviting class 11th and 12th students for a career and a GK quiz, which is a 15 days, 5 days to 5 students per day. The winner prize worth 10,000 and runner prize worth 5,000. So in case if you want to nominate your students, please nominate them. Even pass out students can actually leave, because as you know, this is an unprecedented times, and people, if you really want to actually do something on the career thing, these are things. Now with this, without further delay, may I request Colonel A. Shekhar, Dr. Vivek M. Nanoti, Professor Dr. Ajay Rana and Dr. Parth Sati Mishra to join us on the screen, because now we are going to start a panel discussion and the time bang is 30 minutes, because this is where I am very particular on. So Colonel Shekhar, the things are on right hand to you. Dr. Vivek Nanoti is the principal of Priyadarshini Institute of Engineering, Nagpur. Dr. Professor Ajay Rana, a very well-known personality, Senior Vice President of Amity Education Group. Dr. Parthasarthi Mishra is from Indian Administrative Service and he is from Government of Odisha. Lieutenant Colonel A. Shekhar, none other than only four adjectives that I can use. He is an educationist, he's a soldier first educationist, he's a leader, trainer, and mentor. So over to you, Colonel Shekhar, 30 minutes bang from now.
Okay, thank you very much, Sunanda ma'am, and good evening to all of you. Namaskar. Before we get into the session, am I audible? Can all the panelists hear me loud and clear? If you can, just have a thumbs up so that, yeah, that's right. Yeah, before we get in, is Nilkanta still there?
Yeah, I'm here,
Can
sir.
I see him?
I'm here.
Yeah, you are very much there. So to have fun question, Vidya Balan acted as Shakuntala Devi. In future, whom would you like you to be acted upon? Shah Rukh Khan, Amir Khan, or Salman Khan? Whom would you like it to be?
ये biased question हो जाएगी, sir, because I mean,
when a film is made about you.
I'm a huge Shah Rukh fan anyways, so I think I would be biased when
Great.
I get my answer there. Yes.
Yeah, great. So that's a good time to start off with. Right, I straight away move into the discussion, gentlemen. Yeah, first to Dr. Rana. Are you there, sir? Can I hear you? Dr. Rana? Yeah, let him catch up on this. Yes, I move to Dr. Mishra. Good evening, sir. How are you? You are not audible, sir. You have to unmute yourself.
Is okay now?
Yeah, okay. Good evening. How are you, sir?
I am perfectly fine. How are you, sir?
I am fine, thank you. Dr. Vivek, good evening. Heard you a little bit. How are you, sir?
I am good, and nice to have been part of this thing. Thank you.
We'll quickly move into it. Sunanda madam, you can check out for Dr. Rana. He's not available as yet. My first question to you, Dr. Mishra, is very simple and straightforward. In the higher education space, the policy envisions a complete overhaul and re-energizing of the higher education system. Great words to hear. From your perch as registrar, as special secretary, in a minute and a half, sir, do you agree with this statement? If so, why?
First of all, I would quote here Victor Hugo, the French novelist. He says, you can't stop an idea whose time has come. In fact, today, the reform of education in India, the real time has come today. I, as a bureaucrat, as a part of the policy formulation and policy implementation, and as a practitioner, I have observed that education as a subject for the government has not been taken the right place or right focus over the years. After 34 years, if you are getting a new education policy, it itself is a great thing. We always feel that the change has to come. But we have if you look at all earlier policy pronouncements, right from 68, if you look at the 86, then amendments in 92 and 2009, what we have noticed what we have observed, that in all the policy pronouncements, there are basically two parameters they have focused on. One is the equity concept and the access concept. This time, they have broadened the entire gamut. They have now introduced affordability. Now they have introduced inclusion. And important thing is that they have also focused on that how best a holistic development of a student can be possible. Never before, all the stakeholders in the education system were getting a equal space. Here this time, the greatest discovery of this education policy is the discovery of the student. What a student wants actually. So the contextual student in the right perspective, in this millennium, That is also important. That is what the government has thought of. Now, from the textual part, there is a shift to pedagogical part. This is important. Catching a student from at the age of 3, taking the preschool as one of the agenda in government scheme, that itself is a great change. What I believe that apart from the focus on this thing, the kind of autonomy we have given to the colleges, the autonomy we have given to the universities, there is no longer so many universities like affiliating universities, unitary university, cluster university, all those things are removed. So bringing all the universities under one format called the university itself is a great thing. Having a
right.
Excuse me.
Right, sir. Yeah, I'll catch on. I'll get back to you on this. So you believe that there is a different focus.
I understand.
Dr. Vivek,
yes,
carrying on from what Dr. Sharma said, we have close to 900 universities, 900 plus.
Yes.
In this context, is a standardization a better aspect, or as you focused upon syllabus and curriculum, do you believe that the reimagining of the higher education space as envisaged by the NEP is for real, or are we talking theory? Dr. Vivek.
Thank you everyone, and good evening to everyone. Thank you, Colonel Saab. I strongly believe, like, I have been studying this and I am into higher education for last 29 years. And we had like list of problems, like, you know, why students can't get choice-based education, why our students are migrating to US and Europe countries. And the reason for them, the major reasons, I guess, if all these universities, instead giving the same syllabus, can get consolidated like what NEP proposes, that would be a very good solution. Because, you know, the entire country, UGC, AICT are going for consolidation. So they want, and then second important thing is a real autonomy. The autonomy at the student level, whether they can choose mix and match commerce with physics and all, that autonomy should be implemented very properly. And the autonomy in implementing, yes, pedagogy, the teaching methodologies and these infrastructure, some challenges are definitely there, but still I feel that in higher education, consolidation is a very important thing. And, you know, we are otherwise also looking for all bodies working together in under one umbrella. So if that happens, things would definitely be centralized and the equity thing would really work upon. And we really need to get consolidated. As less as number in universities.
Fair. You are thinking about consolidation. Some of us would, to play the devil's advocate, say decentralization is a better option. I'll come back to you on this, Dr. Mishra, again. We now talk about multidisciplinary options, choices, autonomy, right? It is a great idea, but what are the mindset changes expected in the teacher, the scholastic leaders, and in the parents so that it becomes a reality? I've always said that I can be a plumber, I can be a dancer, I can be a doctor. We require that to happen. So the multidisciplinary approach is great. We heard a couple of conversations where it is, I mean, there is no doubt that this has to happen. How will it happen, sir? What are the challenges? Dr. Mishra.
It's a very, very important question. It is, in fact, the most demanding question for everybody. Sir, actually, I am a product of JNU. And in JNU, when I was studying, the JNU was a multidisciplinary university right from the beginning.
JNU is very unpopular in India today, sir, on the lighter side. Please go ahead.
But it is unpopular for the other regions, but as for the academic part, it is still within the best 10 university of the country. I hope you know that.
I am from Kerala, sir. JNU is very popular there. Please go ahead, sir.
Now, what I believe that, you see, we have to go what exactly the time demands. In fact, multidisciplinary is one aspect which has been long overdue in educational system. Particularly, I am speaking from my cadre. I am from Indian Administrative Service. If you look at the composition of the IAS officers being selected every year, you find a couple of them, they're from the IITs, a couple of them from IIMs, many are technocrats. So when they come and join into the bureaucracy, what happens actually, supposing one IITian goes and becomes a district magistrate. He heads a district. You see, running a corporate and running a district is very different. You have to deal with human beings. You have to deal with the day-to-day problems. Many issues are social, economic, they are cultural, they are emotional. So you have to have a studies in governance, in human values, in all creative arts, because these are the inputs, academic inputs you have to have when you study. So when I was being trained at Masuri in our IS Academy, there most of the lectures are actually on governance, on human values, on social values, on cultural issues. So these are the challenges we have. So when you introduce a multidisciplinary thing, a student who is from the IIT or a engineering background or a medical background or management background, he should have a little bit of this kind of dose. So I believe this is a very welcome move.
Right. Great, sir. I have the greatest of respect for the challenging environment JNU has created. We look at the political issues separately. It was just to make it a little humorous. Following up on what Dr. Mishra has said rightly, I am from the armed forces, of course, from the education, and I have always said that it's easier to change the Indian armed forces than the academicians. And if you have the former university vice chancellor, Dr. Jadhav of Pune University, he said that the bureaucracy in academia, the politics there is much more than anywhere else. In his 5 years, he had 3,000 cases against him. So the mindsets in academia, in the teachers are very rigid. So Dr. Vivek, from where you are sitting, the mindset shift with Dr. Mishra very clearly highlighted, and the key word he used is socio-emotional cultural mindset shift. From IITians, from corporate backgrounds coming up to be a DM or a collector and thinking about the least common man around. So how would the change be? What are the challenges you foresee in this, Dr. Vivek?
I strongly feel like, you know, I'm into engineering education for the last 29 years, and still parents who are like, you know, they want their kids doctors and engineers. They want their engineering karne ke baad, let him pursue IS officer, let him pursue a UPSC, whatever. So that craze, that mindset is real issue. I mean, if somebody wants to pursue in a photography or painting, that career is still like, you know, there are hierarchies. We need to break these hierarchies, and we have been doing so many counseling programs for parents. You know, we talk about industry 4th generation. So in a turn, we need education 4th generation. And a very important aspect is parenting 4th generation. I strongly believe that, you know, you need to counsel parents to make their kids understand the dignity of the career. Whether you are a plumber, whether you are an actor, whether you are a painter, or you are an engineer or an IS officer, dignity remains there. I mean, this is real a social emotional issue, of course, because if you are a painter and then you are saying, "Acha, painting kar raha," he may not get a proper, you know what, marriage proposal for him. So, I mean, it is looked upon like that. So this mindset will definitely break. But at the same time, I'll just touch upon one important issue about dissolving the boundaries between the branches. If NEP implements it in a right perspective, then it would really work. Like, student is getting an a la carte menu about he can do some painting, he can do some psychology along with physics and chemistry. If this thing is done, then the dignity of the subject in the student's heart and the flavor of getting different things, he can decide upon what he is good at and what is good for him.
Yes,
so
sir.
something like that. And then he
the
can
question I have is the teacher mindset, the professors and lecturers, are we ready for the change? What I was trying to highlight was the rigidity amongst us.
Teachers are extremely rigid because, you know, teachers training is an issue. In NEP is, you know, addressing the teachers training issue, but like, you know, many faculty, like engineering faculty for that matter, medical faculty, you do not need any teachers training if you want to be a professor. And that is the crust, the extremely bad issue, I guess, that no training in teaching, no mindset, no psychological, no understanding student psychology, and he can be just an MTech and postgraduate and he becomes teacher. that kills the attitude of teacher.
That is a significant challenge. Right. Dr. Ajay Rana, are you there, sir? Can I see you? Can I hear you? Can I see you, Dr. Rana? Are you there?
Yes, sir. Namaskar.
Namaskar. How are you, sir?
Yeah, please. With your blessings and by God's grace, all is well, please.
Thank you very much. Teachers Day greetings to you, sir. My first question I move on to you now is, we had covered a couple of questions. Now, the NEP now talks about light but tight regulations and focuses on self-reporting and trust. India is not a high trust country. That's one of the things which I, being in the army, coming out, realized. How will this work, sir? Dr. Rana first.
Thank you, Colonel Saab. In fact, you have the wide experience with respect to this. The NEP proposed the light but the tight regulation. When the policy set the national level regulatory institutions, it must be applied. In fact, the NEP 2020 itself is an exercise to impose the uniformity and the standard way along with a single access and control and power, which is the paradoxical given the Indian size with the diversity, constitutions, population. The light but tight approach is the regulatory process is obviously well intentioned. But for the past experience, we know that there are mostly, we find that the bureaucracy in the system. When this NEP make one policy, identify how many educationists be the part of this NEPs.
Sir, I would interrupt you here. I have a specific point is self-reporting. Bharose pe chalna hai. And that's the point I'm trying to highlight for the rest of the audience also. In the armed forces, you are trusted. Till the time you make something and then it's different. Bahar aake, Colonel Shekhar, sorry for the language, aane do saale ko, wo kaam karke dikhate, then we'll trust him. So that's the mindset difference I'm talking about, Dr. Rana. I'll come back to you.
Dr. एक point बोला army.
Yes, sir.
एक confidence कहाँ से आता है, sir? You know the budget with the armed forces. अभी Dr. Vivek ने भी एक point बोला. मैं उसी में बोलना चाहता हूँ. आर्मी में कॉन्फिडेंस तब आता है अगर पॉकेट में पैसा होता है तो सर आदमी को कॉन्फिडेंस हर इंसान को आ जाता है.
सर वो एक एरिया है, वो हम अलग से चले जाएंगे, because army policies, money, etc. is a different game altogether. I know a great deal about it. I will go away from the topic. I'll go away from the topic. That's not the money issue, sir. I mean, there's a lot more to it. Dr. Mishra, trust and self-reporting. You are a bureaucrat. You are also running a university. Will it work?
Definitely it will work. I mean, as I told you in the beginning that this time the most important segment is, it is the accountability. That has been introduced this time. I mean, the way the policy has been, I mean, the way it has been designed, that responsibility can be fixed for any commission or omission. That is important for this time. So, in fact, the self-reporting part and change of mindset, these are very important things. And this has to be changed. Not all the stakeholders have a role to play. I mean, as a bureaucrat, I have been working in a higher education department for quite some time. I have seen that even many of the teachers, when they never grow with the time actually. They don't keep an organic pace with the changes. Whatever they have studied 30 years back, they still teach them in the classes. So that kind of mindset change, the changing in their educational, the entire pedagogy pattern has to be changed. That is what the national policy aims for. And I will John Dewey, that education is not preparation for life, it is the life itself.
Right.
That is what his policy is actually. The beauty of this policy is that it is the education is the life itself.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Vivek, 3 things you would do to ensure that self-reporting makes your institution, yeah, ये जो लोग बोल रहे हैं in terms of whatever their numbers are, their placements are, they are truer than the truest. What will you do to improve upon it, Dr. Vivek, other than what the other two panelists said?
Fine, fine. I mean, the most important thing is, like, I also want to stress upon is teachers training. Unless teachers, like, updation of teachers is very poor, and we need to earmark funds for that. Teachers have very less exposure, and that is the key area, because what industry expects, what society expects from our own product, our own engineers we are producing doctors, and the expectation of industry, the expectation of society and their parents, they have certain level of expectation, and the products are not. We feel very sorry when NASCOM says that only 20% engineers getting produced are unemployable. It is pathetic. But then what is the difference between the pedagogies and pedagogies that can be changed? We can, of course, give stress upon. I feel very bad. Students are not grown at the schooling level. Schooling is also one thing which is responsible, wherein all good teachers are 8 to 9 months involved into some government activity, wherein they don't get chance to update themselves, and actually updated teachers get into the classroom and teach with a lot of government responsibilities and duties they are given. That is one bad point I always feel, and then that is because of that schooling has hampered, and that's why the students with the psychology that करने के लिए करना है, ये क्लास हो गई तो पास हो जाएंगे. I mean, that sincerity, that attitudinal change can bring the change in the general society and the importance of degree. So
Yes,
we need to change teachers, we need to train them, and we have to earmark sufficient funds. 6% of GDP को ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा, 2-3% से नहीं ग्रो होने वाला ये, because it needs lot of funding to be put in, and we have to do that. And that is what difference we see in Oxford and Chicago University, New York, and any university in India. Infrastructure matters.
They have huge funds. अभी सर GST का पैसा नहीं मिल रहा है. The money is going to come about. I do not know where you are. State governments are reneging on salaries. I'm coming to you, Dr. Rana.
In addition to that point, sir, Dr. Vivek touched the very enlightening points, the teacher training. Sir, you check the growth of our school, and there's a huge difference between college life and the school life. You check the records, the involvement of the parents from class 5th to 9th or 12th. Their records are 90%, 80%, and 99% in fact. What about in the graduation level? So educating the teachers not only, but educating the parents as well, so that they will take care about of the next level, at least the 4 year more, to nurture the best talent across the country.
Okay.
That is the request.
Yeah, I understand the teachers, that part where we are saying, but we have also got to take responsibility for the quality of our higher education institutions. You all are heading, you are leaders, you have a good reputation to that. But I have also at various levels interviewed electrical graduates who do not know how to operate a tester.
Yes.
I've seen MCOM students who say SEBI is the State Electricity Board of India. That's a challenge. We have a problem there. Now, following up on that question, Dr. Rana, we are wanting 50% GER. Now, 50% GER means from the present 26%, you have to go up to 50, almost double. And we have 70 to 80% of our graduates not employable. They can reduce it to 50, 60. Now, are we doing the same thing as in school education where numbers are involved? How will we reach this 50% GER? And also, how will, because that's one key flaw in this policy wherein the academia industry link is not explained. So in this context, how would you read this 50% GER which has been mandated in the NEP? Dr. Rana first.
Thank you, Colonel Saab. In fact, I would like to say that the policy had the aggressive and make a decision, the target to 50% GRE by 2035. Looking at the GRE of China, while it is still half what the USA have. Let us take a look. The last year, according to the AISHE All India Survey of Higher Education, the GRE in the higher education increased by 25.8% in 2017 and 18 to 26.3% in 18 and 19. while the absolute term of the increased 3.66 crores to 3.75 crore students. The survey also has founded by the GER for the scheduled caste grown from 21.8% to 23%. That is the data. This is the good sign if we keep the momentum going up to achieve. These are the achievable target by 35% by 2025 and 50% target by 2035 is a necessary to ensure grow the story of our country.
Right.
And as per our Honorable Prime Minister, you know that without investment in education industry, it is not feasible to achieve the GRE target.
We have covered that point, sir. We'll come to that further. Dr. Mishra, as a bureaucrat, I'll get back to you. Dr. Mishra, as a bureaucrat, these numbers are clear. Delhi has got college, it's the gross enrollment of higher education is 50, Tamil Nadu has got 45, Orissa is much lower. Is it all that we get the numbers to 50? Where are the jobs? How will we get it done? What is Orissa's experience on that, Dr. Mishra?
Sir, actually, what I was speaking about Odisha, I have to little correct you. That in Odisha, actually, if you are aware that Odisha is the educational hub of the East. You name any institution, national level, be it IIT, be it IIM, National Institute of Science, everything is there. And on record, I'm telling as a personal responsibility that in Odisha, no academic session has been delayed till before the COVID. Not any examination has been cancelled. And as for the employability part, I do agree that the industry and academia interface is not there, but we have started a lot of initiatives, particularly the Make in Odisha. We have brought in down 500 companies, corporates, government sector all over the globe we are there. So the efforts are there. But the most important thing is that always, I have been listening to Dr. Rana and they are focusing on the pumping of money in education sector. But sir, my experience is otherwise. In RUSA, we received around 50K, 500 crores. Under World Bank project, we got 1,000 crores. And UGC, we have got a lot of those. But our institutions, our universities, colleges, they could not spend it. When we filed the utilization certificate in the end of the year, the situation is very pathetic. In fact, that is what I'm telling you, that giving money is not important.
Right.
How best can utilize that money? That is also very
right. Great point, sir. There is always a debate. Discussion should have contrasting viewpoints. I come to the last question, starting out with Dr. Vivek. 2040, when your hair is gray, when your grandchildren are in college, what does your college will look like?
Yes, that is the dream which we all are looking forward for. I feel that there will be absolutely openness. The choice-based system will be in place. Students will not be under pressure of, even if 50% of NEP is implemented properly, I am sure that definitely students will not be under that pressure that engineering, doctor, IAS are good and others professions are not, or the pressure, peer pressure, the parents' pressure. I am looking forward, I envisage that my college would provide not only engineering but all other degrees, at the same time dissolving the boundaries between the branches, so student can easily poke into history as well as into mechanical engineering to enjoy the focus based learning.
Thank you.
Target based learning होना चाहिए, उसमें हिस्ट्री लगा तो हिस्ट्री पढ़ लेंगे. If you need geography and if you need mechanical engineering and robotics, yes, we will learn. We will not be into these tight boundaries, cabins of mechanical, physics, chemistry and history. We need to dissolve the boundaries. Once boundaries will be dissolved, I am sure students, the creativity part of it, the inquisitive part of it, which is very much mentioned in the NEP, those things will be, these antennas will be stretched on by the students, and definitely we look forward that with that creativity inculcated, with that a la carte menu available right from skill development at 6th standard.
Right.
If entire thing gets implemented, we look forward for a very open education, and definitely it will address employability issues also, because entrepreneurship enterprising skills. These are also part of this NEP, and if they can be made.
Sir, I'm short of time. I'm just short of time. I'm winding up. Dr. Rana,
Yes.
how will Amity look like in 2040? 30 seconds, sir. Quick answer.
With respect to first about the Mishra Sahab, the RUSA and all these things, we know why this RUSA is applicable to the government or is applicable to the all institutions. That is the point number one. For education sector, I request to you, there is a huge demand in the market, but we are able to produce the right talent, our delivery, as per the expectations by the industry.
Right.
No industry approach to us, whatever you deliver in the next 4 years or 5 years. Their expectation is behavior, ethics, values, sanskar, and how you are fast learner. No one said that you are a mechanical engineer. You find a lot of top CEOs, Narayan Murthy, Nandan Ninkani, they are electrical.
No, sir. Yes, I just want a conclusion point because we are just short of time. We have overshot. How will Amity look like in 2040 with your great-grandchildren, Dr. Rana?
So we hope that we always maintain the Nalanda, Takshila, and the other universities. Those are the repute of our country. One day you will find that our Indian universities be at the top and global. Like MIT, we have 19 different universities in the country and 27 across the globe. So we feel more proud that we maintain the Takshila, Nalanda to the global level for our talented and manpower. That is
Thank you.
my end.
Dr. Mishra, 30 seconds. How will you look at Orissa and your profile in 2040?
In 2040, first of all, I will say that I believe that India would be a superpower in the international knowledge economy. I mean, there is no doubt about it. Odisha, obviously, I can't just restrict my analysis to just Odisha. I will give for the national perspective. I believe that 2040, a student of India would be much more sensitized, much more enjoyable. He must have an open mind. He understands the system much more than what he understands today. And that is what is the catch actually. What our Honorable Prime Minister says, it doesn't matter what you think, it matters how you think.
Okay.
Creativity, that innovative thinking, that must have come to them. I believe the much more independent a student must be.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, gentlemen. It was a lively discussion. Good to have opposite and different points of view coming in. Thank you. And once again, happy Teachers' Day. Back to you, the organizers, back to Kavita and Sunanda. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was pleasure being part of this session.
Kindly be there.
Thank you.
Yeah, kindly be there. We have some token of gratitude for you, Kavita. Colonel Shekhar, it was wonderful that you have actually, shared such a beautiful insights and keeping everyone in time. I know, in panel, everyone will always have a short of time, but we have to respect the time of other panelists and the speakers who are there on YouTube and everyone. So, Colonel Shekhar, this is a token of gratitude from us. Moving on to Dr. Parthasarthi. Kavita, please. Yeah. So, Dr. Parthasarthi Mishra, this is something for you. Thank you so much for such a wonderful insights. Now we move on to Dr. Ajay Rana. So, Dr. Ajay Rana, thank you once again for sharing your wonderful insights. I know this is something which is a hard reality which you speak, but it's a fact and which has to be coming in front of everyone. And last, Dr. Vivek Nanoti, thank you so much for sharing all the insights with us. We will look forward to have you in future events also, all of you, and we will stay connected with you. Thank you so much for being with us and being a lively panel.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. And with this, I move on to a very important segment, that is the school segment, school education. And here we are going to discuss on hits and misses for the school education in New Education Policy 2020. Now, with this, may I request Mr. M. Srinivasan Sriram, the principal of the Man School, to join us in the panel discussion, followed by Ms. Shunita Srivastava, who is the founder, principal of VLS International Public School, Mr. A.P. Sharma, principal, Birla Public School, Qatar, and Mr. Pramod Kumar Ranwaka, who is the headmaster for the senior secondary school, Mayo College of Ajmer. So we have two schools which are boarding schools, 2 schools which are residential schools, and 2 schools which are a day scholar school. So with this, I would like to introduce everyone, as all of them are educationists and are having over 20 years of experience in the education field. Of course, they bring different perspective on that. The objective of this panel discussion is that we shall be examining the 9 key chapters from the practitioner perspective on the new education policy. And to keep it very seamless, I would like to tell you that we are going to have a sequential manner. And the best one is when I don't know how to go it, I go alphabetically. So I would like to start with AP Sharma, followed by Mr. Pramod Kumar Ranwaka, followed by Mr. Sri Ram Srinivasan, and finally to Sunita ma'am. There is no ladies first here. So every moderator, every person will be getting, since we have 30 minutes and already we are overshooting on the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put forward the questions, and I would request all of you to have a crisp 30-second answer so that we can wrap up the session in a very, paced manner. Now, the first question is to Mr. AP Sharma. What are the hits and misses of the early childhood care and education?
Yeah, one of the biggest hit is that this is the segment on which the maximum stress has been put on by the NEP, and I'm quite happy about that. And the miss is that we forgot to bring the dignity of labor, as well as that particular education which is related to vocational. And this is the time when the all foundation habits are being taken care of.
That's so nice of you for being so crisp on this. Now, let me move on to Mr. Pramod Kumar. What are the hits and misses of universal access to education at all the levels?
Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much. I've been able to just note down one thing, that after going through this entire National Education Policy 2020, in my opinion, it spells out a vision, but it is not a prescription. So we are not sure. This is a big, miss in this. It spells out a vision, but it is not a prescription. There is no kind of a prescription given for any particular kind of a school or particular kind of a teaching pedagogy. So ultimately, we all teachers will have to, in this, contribute a lot, especially the principals. The hit is that school level examinations in grade 3, 5, and 8 would test achievement of basic learning outcomes through assessment of core concepts and application of knowledge in real life situations. So it will, encourage the learning, and it will discourage the rote memorization. This is the biggest hit, what I feel, at a school level.
Very well said, sir. Let me move on to the Mann School Principal, Srinivasan Sriram. So, what are the hits and misses of the testing and assessments?
Well, good evening, and wishing all the panelists and everyone in the session a very happy Teachers' Day. Well, you are, ma'am, asking a document which took 2 years to be concise in 30 seconds. It's going to be a difficult task. But yes, in terms of assessments, I think this is the first time that the assessments are going to be away from rote learning based on competency, which promotes learning and development, test the higher order thinking skills like analysis, critical thinking, and conceptual clarity. A great step in this direction. Examination, as Mr. Avanka has pointed out, at levels 3, 5, 8 to check the learning levels, again, a positive. Board exams with any combination of subjects, well, it is a positive for the student, but implementation wise, I think it is a miss. They have not specified about that. Schools will have difficulty in implementing it. A 360-degree multidimensional assessment is a fantastic, path-breaking initiative that has been brought in. And also it talks about self-assessment and peer assessment. Not too much of clarity here. 2 levels again of easy and difficult, and objective and subjective is being talked about in assessments. Again, not sure of the implementation, but yes, a good initiative to roll it out. National Assessment Center, the PARAK, with sweeping parts for online assessments, is going to be a great step. National Achievement Survey to ensure student learning is a fantastic one. I mean, normally what we do is we roll out the thing without having checks and balances. Now here is one which is going to check the student learning at every step. So all these are positives. But in terms of negatives, well, I think the common assessments for all boards and universities and colleges to consider NTA assessments. I mean, this is like, asking all the states and all the universities across states to come into one group to take one assessment. I don't think so. It is completely skewed. Lots and lots of question marks will be raised. The SQAAF again is a local body of SERTs. National level integration will be a problem. They also talked about, last point, formative assessment in place of summative to kill coaching culture. Well, I don't think coaching culture will ever be killed by moving it from summative to formative in either of the forms, as long as there is a willpower for us not to go to these institutes. These are some of the misses I feel.
Very well said, Mr. Sriram. Now let me move on back to Qatar. And Mr. Sharma, here is the question. What are the hits and misses of foundation literacy and numeracy? FLN has been spoken a long about it, but I would like to have your views on that.
This question you have already asked me, ma'am.
No, sir. On the foundation literacy and numeracy, I have not asked. I've asked about early childhood and education.
Okay, sorry. So foundation literacy and numeracy, the hit is that, at foundation level, they have tried to make it universalized. But the problem is, the miss is that enough funds should be there and there is no proper planning to reach out. If they will connect, they will still connect it to the simple one thing that, come, eat food and then go. Then this is not a great incentive. The great incentive is for these children so that they feel that this is an achievement. The achievement is not to have food. The achievement is to learn. If they will see that their elders, their elder brothers, the next generation or the generation before them are doing very good and are placed very well by learning, at least literacy and all, then certainly they will get into this. So there is this one big miss. But yes, salute that somebody looked at this from this point of view, that there should be funds and then something great can be done.
Perfect, sir. Thank you so much, because that was a wonderful insight that what exactly is it. Let me go to Mr. Pramod. What are the hits and misses of curriculum pedagogy in schools?
Ma'am, as far as curriculum pedagogy is concerned, my only concern is that we need to have very good teachers and we need to train them. The hit part is this, that in this NEP 2020, there is a provision of every year, all teachers, every teacher will have to go for 50 hours of teacher training, professional development curriculum program. That's a hit. But how far it will be success, again, there is a miss in this also, because ultimately we are not sure that how this training will be organized. We have recently seen in last 1 decade the outcome of the CCE which was implemented, and though throughout the country, throughout the nation, the trainings and workshops took place, but in spite of that, there were quality teachers were not available. So the only miss part is about availability of good teachers, and the good part, the hit is that providing teachers training, and minimum requirement for every teacher in every school, that 50 years teacher professional development program for every teacher in every school every year. So if it can be implemented successfully, it is going to be a very big hit. And next thing, important thing, which I feel that with this, slightly, if we go towards the higher education side, it will be mandatory for all colleges and universities to have Department of Education, multidisciplinary departments and Department of Education, where compulsorily they will have to provide a B.Ed, M.Ed and PhD degree. So with that, I feel that new generation may get inspired and motivated and come forward towards the teaching profession. So this is what perhaps I feel. Thank you.
Okay. I see Ms. Sunisha Srivastava has joined us. So, ma'am, I'm going alphabetically. So after Mr. Pramod, I'll go to Mr. Sriram. So what are the hits and misses of the teacher and in teachers and teacher education, sir?
Okay. You're asking from me?
No, sir. I'm going to Mr. Srinivas now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Again, a big section. Section number 5 has been exclusively, for the first time, gone into the details of the teacher. Respect for teachers have been talked about. improvement in the service conditions and teacher empowerment. Again, great steps. But again, the business, how much it is implementable is something which only time will tell us. If we can walk the talk, it will be a great, great initiative. Continuous professional development for teachers and in-service trainings is a widely appreciated initiative that has been that has been talked about. I welcome it. Also about training Anganwadi workers for ECCE with a 6-month and a 1-year program based on whether they have passed class 12 or not cleared that. I have doubts on this because these are people who are normally not trained to handle. ECCE requires a lot of specialization to handle. So training Anganwadi workers, with due respect to them, I don't know how much of a success it is going to be. There is also talk about local recruitment of teachers with knowledge of local knowledge. Great step. I think if we can work out on this in terms of empowering them at the local level, it will be a wonderful initiative, because these people can go and help the local community in terms of providing education there. One big initiative is the 4-year B.Ed program for the teachers. Now again, it's a very huge section that has been talked about, and no transfers for teachers, TETs, clusters, and for teachers training. Teachers sharing amongst many schools, a wonderful initiative. But then the flip side of it is they're talking about not engaging the teachers for other administrative work. Then who is going to do the work? I mean, the majority of the work in schools are done by teachers. So these are some of the known pointers which are left out in the policy. But again, when we have the national curriculum framework by 2021 for the teacher education curriculum, which involves vocational education as well, I think there will be more clarity in what this whole policy is going to offer us. They also talk about autonomy in pedagogy and innovative approaches, and incentivize them for the good work. They also talk about promotion within stages in the foundational, preparatory, middle, and secondary. I mean, basically, they are saying that in whichever segment the teachers are in, they are going to be treated at par, unlike now where PGTs have an upper hand compared to the PRTs. So these are phenomenal path-breaking measures which they have talked about. Implementation-wise, there is a question mark. I repeat, a big question mark as to how they are going to implement it. That will only time will tell us.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, before I go back to audience question, I have a set of question which is there for Mrs. Sunita. So, Sunita ma'am, the first question to you: what are the hits and misses of the equitable and inclusive education?
Greetings to everyone. If to my understanding, this document is more for government schools rather than private and public schools. If we talk about 21st century learning skills, experiential learning, holistic, integrated, inquiry-driven, discovery-based, learner-centered, discussion-based, flexible, enjoyable, all these things, all the progressive schools have already implemented. To my understanding, 90% of it has already been implemented. Now, what is a hit in this? When compared to the earlier documents, this document specifies the stretch of years, that is from 3 years to 18 years. This is the hit for me. As the most of the development happens in the early ages, 85% of the brain development happens in the age of 3 to 6. So that is the hit for me. When I talk about miss, it talks about social justice to education, to ensure the dropout. The student tracking system was monitored. When it was monitored, socially disadvantaged, economically disadvantaged groups were the most number of dropouts. So if that is the case, then if that is the dropout rate, then how they are going to implement this 21st century skill set for them, and how the teachers will be trained for that, that is the miss for me.
Well said, Ms. Sunita. Obviously, you have given a different perspective altogether for this. Now, I would, since, I couldn't take up the first question, initial questions with you. So I would like to ask you the second question also, that what are the hits and misses in the standard setting and school accreditation?
Yeah, as the previous speakers also said about light by tight regulatory framework will be ensured to ensure integrity, transparency, and resource management. That is a hit. Along with the documents talks about self-regulation and accreditation system for all the 4 stages of education, that is preschool, private, public, and philanthropic work. That is a hit for me. Along with that, state school standard authority will be formed to monitor all the activities. This is hit for me. When I talk about the miss, the BEOs and DEOs to be appointed directly from the central government.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, let me have some of the audience question. Well, the first question is for Mr. AP Sharma. What are the best practices you are anticipating or wish to advise school leaders in the light of NEP?
Yeah, this is very important that because in any webinar I go for panel discussion, people pick good words from Google and then they press out that, okay, these are the good things which are required. And the same thing happens with various countries' education policies. And in practical, whatever happens is something different. So the basic idea is that we have to identify that at what level, what skills are required. It is not like every level, every skill is required. So basically, what the most important and beautiful thing this NEP has brought is about the foundation education. In foundation education, it is very important that we use exploratory method only. Don't think about anything. Exploratory method is good enough where a child observes and inference. So whenever they are ready to observe and inference and they move out of the classroom where they are physically present as well as mentally present. Otherwise, the small students or the senior students, sometimes and most of the times they are physically present, but mentally they are not present. So involvement of students is most important thing. And if you pick just one thing that exploratory, good enough. Now, if I come to the middle school level, the best practice will be that bringing from primary to middle, right from primary to middle, there should be emphasis on vocational education. We are talking about coding. Mr. Shriram is sitting here and he knows very well that coding changes after every 2 to 3 years. Now, right now we are thinking about Python. Maybe people have already discovered Cobra and something else, Anaconda, all other kind of things. So the idea is that we should not fix with certain kind of magic words. These are not magic words. These gives us stagnation. Let's think about AI. Let's think about, and then every second year, third year, we have to change. We have to change and alter our policies. And coming to the senior school, from middle school to senior school, this vocational education, if in primary school, you will not make a child understand that why vocations are respected, why anybody can go into any vocation, it will fail. Because class 8, class 6, class 5, above, children will not be able to accept and they will not like to work in woodwork and any other vocational work other than the beautiful things. But we need people in all vocations. We don't need all computer people. We need people in different kind of vocations. All vocations are required for society as well as for economy. Most beautiful thing which I'm in the NCRT committee also for something innovations, and I have put up my strong recommendation for design thinking. I worked with for last 6 years. I worked with the William D. Koenig Academy in Netherlands as well as MIT US on this particular thing, and I'm very happy that Mr. Senapati addressed this and he said, yes, this is very beautiful thing where we will try children to resolve their problems with this particular approach, where they start from empathy and move out. You can talk about competency. People are talking about competency for years and still we don't know what is competency. No parameter is there. So let's talk basic things. And we have to move very simply that from states, one state to another state, because education is finally the state subject. So there should be different kind of syllabus. I'm telling you something very, very strange thing, but somebody has acknowledged in the education policy about this. And remember, there should be different syllabus for urban children. There should be different syllabus for the children who are in village, because village people want to learn from urban and urban people must learn from village. And this should be there till middle school. And in different states, they must protect their culture. They must protect their customs and everything. And this kind of freedom must be given. But I totally follow and I totally vote for them that yes, at some level there should be universal exams where I'm thinking opposite to Mr. Shriram. There should be, because right now what we think, there is a competition between different boards. Oh, they are giving 99%. we will give 100%. And this is because of DU admissions. And one state board or two state boards, they give maximum 100 out of 100. Child think he is perfect. There is no scope for further improvement, 100 out of 100. Whether he will try for 101 out of 100? Not at all. This is the worst system. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sharma. I would request rest of the panelists to be a little crisper as we are running short of the time. I'm so sorry for that, to be very blunt. Let me move on to Ms. Sunita right now. What are the essentials in NEP for the foundation level, and is there any special thoughts from your side? And here I am asking as an individual perspective, ma'am. I am not asking from the principal perspective or an educator perspective, but yes, any special thoughts from your side?
We all know that preschool has been included in the NEP, that this normal structure. It is from 3 years to 18 years. Now it will be structured, curriculum will be structured and monitored by the Ministry of Education and para agencies. And what are the essentials to be learned? Literacy and numeracy will be the high pointers here. And by the time they reach grade 3, they will be mastering that. For that, a kind of testing will be done. And of course, it will be in the form of a very simple method. And apart from this, flexibility, multi-level, multifaceted, and playway, activity-based, all these dramatics, puppets, all these things to be included in the pre-primary. What I'm missing is a lot could have been done in this sector, early childhood sector. Many kind of philosophies could have been interwoven, which could have given a complete meaning to this early childhood care education.
Well said, ma'am. That was really awesome, because you have given a prerogative where what has been missed out, or maybe I'm sure we are trying to create a pre and post press release of this session, so as with the higher education, so that somewhere in the media it should go. As you know, we have a base of a magazine which can be leveraged on. Well, let me go to Mr. Pramod. What are some of the key steps the government can take for the successful implementation of the policy? Because so far we have been hearing the policy is a very good thing, only implementation is left now. But if you have to give an advice or anything that has to be included in that, so what will you give?
So nice of you, ma'am. Thank you very much. The first thing that the government, government has already planned, that minimum 50 hours of, 50 days of teachers training for every teacher every year. If it can be successfully implemented, nothing like it. That is number one. Number two, to implement this, what I would like to suggest, right now, presently, CBSE has come out a very good system that is called as hubs of learning. In that, what they have done, that in parallel to Sahodaya school complexes, they have designed this concept of hubs of learning. In that, 5 to 6 schools of particular area, nearby schools of that particular area, club together, and each school is given a responsibility of a lead collaborator for 1 year. And likewise, in 5 years or in 6 years, every school will get a chance to be the lead collaborator, and other schools will assist them, will support them. And in that case, what will happen, that all these 5-6 schools will exist together, will support each other. So there will be a learning happening with each other. There will be no kind of a cutthroat competition or kind of a, a kind of a jealous feeling or something, negative aspect about it. Everybody will learn. They will share their resources also. Like a particular school may have a specialization in a particular field. So other 4 schools will also benefit out of it. So if it can be divided in this manner, perhaps this is what I would like to advise to the government. This is a very good, CBSE policy. And as they said, that the teachers training every year, made it compulsory, if it can be implemented successfully. And on top of that, presently in our education system, throughout the country, these B.Ed colleges where teachers are provided training to teach, they are provided license to teach. I think this is an eyewash in present situation. So if it can be looked into and it can be thoroughly, checked, that no teacher should be given any degree of B.Ed or M.Ed unless he has really completed minimum whatever 60 hours or 70 hours of teaching. Then only he should be allowed to obtain that certificate and allowed to come and attend or join the schools to teach. This is what I would like to advise. Thank you.
Very well said, sir. On this Teachers' Day, I'm sure most of the teachers are watching, and the attempt of Career Beacon is that most of the teachers can be actually benefited out of this new education policy. So, very clarified way of saying. Last but not the least, the audience question goes to Mr. Sriram Srinivasan. How can the policy translate into the real action?
Okay. The first and foremost, I think, is walk the talk with effective implementation. Policy is good. It's like the Constitution of India. Now, whether people will follow or not is something which only time will tell. There has to be a mechanism which has checks and balances at regular intervals for corrective action. As long as we don't have that, then this is where we have defaulted before. And I'm afraid if this is not done again, we might default. It's a wonderful policy. If implemented with all the points mentioned, I think it will be a path-breaking change in education. Support the measures financially. I request the government to pump in that 6% of GDP which you have already claimed. Way back, 34 years back, there was a 6% of GDP which was which was asked to be pumped into the education sector. We are right now at 4%. So we are still a far, it's a far off target. But I think 6 to 8% of GDP will do wonders. And if you can involve the MNCs and NGOs in the implementation process, I think that will benefit us in the long run, because these are people who are willing to help. And this education segment requires a number of hands to help us take the journey. So that's a very important point. Feedback and reflections again are very, very important. Please, the importance of big data. Collect data from various sources, collate it into a proper meaningful input using using artificial intelligence, and that will provide a fantastic way. We have the technology at our hand today. So if that can be incorporated, we can implement it successfully. And last, review in 2030, 10 years after is too long a time. I think we are missing the point completely here. The review has to take place every year. And then only we will be able to effectively implement this and translate into real action.
Unmute, ma'am.
Ma'am, you'll have to unmute. Ma'am Sunanda, you'll have to unmute.
1 minute, yeah. So very well said, sir. This policy is no matter, when it will be implemented, what has to be done, but numerous, discussions have taken place. As you know, we have also initiated certain things where most of you have spoken with us. So all I can say is this policy is, NEP is one step in freedom in education, so much including the concept of synchronizing learning or batch processing or provision of patronage are gone, and we must embrace the change. So this is the last and the concluding point that I can say. And to all the educators, all the principals, Mr. Pramod, Mr. Sriram, AP Sharma ji and Sunita ji, very well said what you have said, and we have already noted all the points so that it can be shared as a press release. And this is a small gratitude, Mr. Srinivasan Sriram, for you. And
thank you so much.
In fact, there is another certificate of gratitude which we will be sharing with you, because that's on the new education policy, the YouTube one that we have done, which was shared in the beginning of the session. Moving on to, yes, Sunita ma'am, thank you so much. And I'm so sorry, it was not intentional. I have not seen you in beginning. So this is a small token of gratitude.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Mr. Sharma, I know whenever, I connect with you over, WhatsApp, you are always there to support me. Thank you so much once again for sharing your valuable insights on hits and misses for the school education in NEP 2020. And
no, kudos to you. Kudos to your initiatives, and keep that up. Great.
Thank you, sir. It's just because of your support. And Mr. Pramod, I would like to thank first Mr. Srinivas Sriram for introducing Mr. Pramod to me. So thank you so much, sir, for bringing such an eminent speaker to us in this panel. And Mr. Pramod, you were really awesome as others. So this is a small token of gratitude from our end.
Thank you very much. And thanks to Mr. Sharma and Mr. Shriram and Ma'am Sunita, that I really learned a lot joining with you as a panelist in this webinar. And thank you, Ma'am Sunanda, and thank you, Dr. Ajay Rana.
Thank you to all the panelists.
Thank you so much. Please stay tuned to us, because this is something that is going to, it is on over demand that we have introduced this session. And we have Dr. Ruby Bakshi Kurdi. She is the founder Ray Academy, and she is from Switzerland, who has joined us. And she was actually showing me the time. Sunanda, can I be free by this time? Because she's having, as you know, she's a TEDx speaker. She has a couple of commitments. But Ruby ji, thank you so much for joining us. And I would like to thank Mr. Hari Krishna Maram, who has introduced me to you. Now over to you, and please share what is traditional classroom to virtual classroom look like, because in the entire people who have registered with us, they actually asked that what can be better, can be done. But restricting your time only to 10 minutes, ma'am, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much for a wonderful welcome. And it was really a pleasure listening all the speakers. It's amazing how NEP is going to bring about a change, which we can feel here sitting in Switzerland, how our beloved Prime Minister Modi ji is bringing about the changes and making the whole world shake with what we can expect in the coming future. Yes, this year was a big challenge practically for the whole world with COVID. It was not easy. But what we did here in Switzerland, as you all were talking about a lot of training programs, we had crash boot camps. So as we move from traditional face-to-face classrooms, it was the need of the hour. Maybe this would have been done in coming 5 years, but it was the need of the hour, which COVID made everyone do in a nick of a second. Boot camp on how we can have VLE, that is virtual learning environment. Just as we are sitting here and having classes or connecting with students all over the world, we had majority of the students in our college, we have majority of the students from China. So that was another debacle. But it was done in such a beautiful way that even though some of the students and some of the teachers were reluctant, but we became one. Most of the schools in higher education, we became one, and we started following what others are doing, following the best practices from other places. So I think it's the need of our, which any country, whether it's India, whether it's America or UK or any country, what we need to do is right now how we can make the classroom sessions interesting, whether it's virtual or face to face, because we don't see, like in India, probably it's going to take a bit more time, even though we have a good infrastructure, but it's not strong enough that can support it. So it's very important how traditional classrooms can be made more interesting. With VLE, what we introduced in our school is gamification, because it can get boring. Like, just for us adults, sometimes it can become boring attending sessions, seminars, sitting in front of the camera. So it is important to change the mindset, like just not having everything in front of, in terms of books and, tutorials and stuff like that, but made the situation a little bit more game-like. And this is what we did here. Even though students are having sessions of 5 hours, 6 hours, but we are trying to make it more fun, more interesting. And that is done by using a lot of gamification tools. We have a lot of virtual learning platforms, which could be like I use a lot of Kahoot, wherein whatever I'm doing in the classes, students are able to follow it. It's very competitive, but healthy competition. When you give some thrill, just as हम लोग हमेशा कहते हैं, हम भी अगर बच्चे होते तो हम ये करते, हम वो करते, that kind of a thing. So just as we still are thrilled about doing these kind of things and following such practices, so with Kahoot, it's a competitive, healthy competition, and it makes students learn faster. Then there's another platform which is called Nearpod, which again is really great, for people who are having, who are not very comfortable, or who are having language issues, or who don't understand when they are in the, what I call virtual platform. So this is something which is self-paced. So Nearpod is something which all the teachers can prepare, and students can learn, just as you show, you have done one step and you move to the other step, you have done second step, you move to the third step. So same as Nearpod, which is more self-paced. So for some students who are having internet problems, or who are dyslexic, or who are not able to cope with the class, they can take these kind of things, which is self-paced learning. Because the need of the hour is to give education, to educate children and not be wasting time. So we as educators, or we as teachers, need to devise ways how we can do it, how we can base our different platforms, different learning tools on the requirements of the students. So I guess as some of the panelists were talking about training, so if we have specific trainings on these platforms, I think students will really enjoy. So like some of us, we are using Teams, some are using Google Classrooms, some are using Moodle. I don't know how many of you are using Moodle. So each of these platforms have something specific. So I guess it will be really interesting if people can, have a mix of Moodle, Teams, or these gamification tools, because when you have these things, students enjoy more. They're able to overcome fatigue, which sometimes they can become bored. But because of these kind of things, when you create game like situations, we as teachers also enjoy, because when you see the excitement, it might take some time, guys, it takes time to prepare these tutorials, but once it's done, you can use it again and again, so then it's not going to be a problem. But शुरू में आपको थोड़ा सा effort करना पड़ेगा as teachers. You have to focus what is the requirement of the students. And someone was mentioning about localized education, like people from north or people from south or people in villages. So I guess as educators, we have to be a little bit more, I would say, emotionally attached to the students and be a little bit more careful to the needs of the students. Not just follow a strict curriculum, bring about little bit changes here and there based on what is the actual requirement of your students. जो आपकी क्लास में बच्चे हैं, आप उनको focus करो, because once you're able to focus on those requirements, I'm sure students will understand, whether it's face to face or whether it's virtual, students will understand, they'll respond accordingly. Because the need of hour is that they have to have emotional connection with the teachers, because they're confused, they are stressed, they are not knowing how to do things. So if we as teachers are not just acting like teachers who are strong or strict, but we as teachers who are emotionally connected, I guess we need to use more and more emotional intelligence in the classrooms. I hope this is also coming and being a part of the curriculum soon, because it's the need of the hour that more and more teachers, whether in higher education or in in primary or secondary schools, they should be connected with the students, because only when they're connected with the students and understand their students and understand the needs of the students, they're able to bring about small changes here and there and not follow a strict pattern. Because sometimes when you follow a strict pattern, you might be a doctor, you might be a master's or double master's in a particular subject, but if you are not connected, if you don't have the rhythm of connecting with your students, the whole exercise goes futile. So the need of the hour is to connect and bring about the changes based on how students enjoy and learn, because these are the things that they will learn. If you focus on memorization, it's not going to be happening. Even we as teachers here had to bring about changes in our lesson plans. We had to change our syllabuses, make it more interesting, make it more short, make it more crisp and complete at the same time. Even if we are compromising a little bit on the time, like instead of let's say 4 hours of human resource management, the students were having 2 hours, but the rest of the 2 hours they were reading, they were having a case discussion. So which we were trying again by putting them in smaller groups. It was like, just as if they were in a real classroom, we would have a group of students sitting together and doing it. We are creating breakout rooms, but for everything you need to train, and you have to have an open mindset. As educators, please, it's an appeal, don't follow a rigid or strict schedule. If the need of the hour is to change a little bit, focus on what your students are looking for, just do a little bit here and there and see how you can bring about that change. Just see how you can manage and also make it interesting for the students, because the classes which are interesting are only the classes which are engaging your students. Because when you engage the students, they're able to give, the productivity is higher if they are engaged. But if they're just there for the heck of being there, like mentally and physically they're not present, if they're just present physically, whether in a virtual or face-to-face classroom, it's gonna be nothing. You're just, as a teacher, you're just wasting your time as well as their time. So it's important, connect with your students, use emotional intelligence, and keep on bringing about the change on the basis of the 4 Ps. During the 4 Ps, I have been telling and emphasizing everyone, use the 4 Ps, not of marketing, but 4 Ps for pandemic, what pandemic has taught. The first P is your self-analysis. We as teachers need to constantly keep on doing self-analysis and keep on changing, not have a rigid structure, but second P is the people around you. So in this case, it's the teachers, other teachers, your students, and the parents. These three are the other P that you as an educator need to connect, especially if you are dealing with younger children. If you're dealing with older children, like higher education or college education, then you're just talking about other teachers as well as the students who are your immediate clients or who are immediate customers. The third P, which is there, is your purpose. Whatever purpose you are doing, whatever courses you are teaching, make sure, as I said, focus on the main thing which is important to be learned in that course. What is supposed to be like, when they graduate or when they pass that particular course, they have the crisp of, this is what we did. Not by memorization, not by learning by rote, but by understanding it, understanding the logic, so that when they graduate or they move to the other class, they still remember. And students learn and remember by storytelling and using examples. So don't emphasize much. And this, of course, you can say in terms of maths and subjects where there is a lot of mathematical formulations in finance and things like that. That's different. But I'm talking about theoretical courses. Please try to emphasize using case studies, storytelling, or giving examples, because that's what students are going to remember. They're not going to remember the theories. And last is the fourth P, which is the path. What is the path that you're going to take? And as I said, if you are lucky that we start face-to-face classes soon back home in India, then of course you will be focusing on face-to-face as well as a little bit on the students who are present on virtual network. So whatever path you take, using gamification, connecting emotionally with the students, you will see the magic happen. I'm definitely going to ensure you, we are doing it here. It was not easy in the beginning. March, April, May was not easy, but now it is easier. I am having like roughly 40 students face to face and 40 students online, so we are doing both. I'm trying to balance the both. It's not easy because sometimes the internet connection gets cut, sometimes there is a lag, but we have to find the balance and record most of the classes where students are not able to have access or it's late night in that particular country. So we do these kind of things. I think that's it, what I would like to emphasize. I timed it because I know we are running short of time. I hope I was able to make you analyze what is important. Using emotional intelligence and gamification, that's the key which will make virtual learning interesting.
Thank you so much, Ruby ji, for such a beautiful insights. To be very honest, when I was asking you to cut the short speech, because we were knowing that your speech is going to be mesmerizing and people would be mesmerized, but at the interest of the time, we already have crossed the time. We should have been concluding at this moment of time, but thank you so much for being with us. I know Dr. Seema Negi has already sent me a message. I myself and Ruby are going to enter into a new session, so I hope the new session would be really good. Enjoy that, and please stay back as we are entering into the new dimension of thing which is long awaited by the people. Now here I would request, thank you so much, Ruby ji, a small token of appreciation for that. I will be mailing all the certificates to respective people. With due respect, we would have given you with a frame, but unfortunately due to the COVID, we are trying to take the best use of the screen time. Well, with this, Kavita, hold your breath and put the slide that what are we going to come up with. Well, guys, this is the moment which has come right now, and I'm sure most of you would be crossing the fingers. Believe me, it's more difficult for us, and it was more even difficult for our jury members because lots of brainstorming has happened. So I would like to invite Brigadier Sunil Mudgil, Colonel Sunil Kapila, then we have Gajraj Dhayaji and Saurabh Nanda. I have already shared their designations and everything with you. We have three defense people: Army, Navy, and Air Force. I'm sure. And then we have Saurabh, who has been brought up by defense personals. So I'm sure they would have done the best of the things. Well, this year, Youngster Entrepreneur Nexus, as you know, is they have started with certain thing that is called Teacher Appreciation Award. And we have received over 1,200 entries from the students. Now, in the 1,200 entries, the one that we have received, it was really difficult for us to actually pick up which was the best entry. So after too much of brainstorming, all we can say is, to the world, you may be just a teacher, but for a student, you're a star. And believe me, the messages that we have received have actually literally made us to cry. They were so heart touching. So Kavita, I would like you to first put the first message which was shortlisted for the award. Please put the message on the slide. Okay, this message is from Vanshika Tyagi of Man School, and this message is for Mrs. Kamini Haldar. She mentioned that you're so true godsend. I'm sorry, I cannot read. I'll get emotional. So please read through it. And Kamini ma'am, I'm sure you are really doing a worthwhile job that you have received such a beautiful message. I believe Mrs. Kamini Haldar is in the transit and don't know if she will be able to attend this award ceremony. So maybe Mr. Srinivas and Sriram or Saurabh Haldar, who is her hubby, can actually pick up this award.
I thank you on behalf of Kamini for this award. Yes, she's traveling and I'll inform her ASAP.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. And I'm sure now you're holding your breath because you've seen the kind of message that we have received. Now, the second message is from the Tritra Aditya and to Brahmotri Patnaik. She is GV Public School from CDA. And this is such a beautiful message again we have received. So, the three, are you there? And Brahmotri ma'am, are you there with us?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So this is the beautiful message that your student has given. Of course, we have received.
I'm honored.
Yeah, and this is a small gratitude of token that we are giving you on behalf of Yen. As Yen is Youngster Entrepreneur Nexus, they want to ignite the young minds. And this thought has come to the convener of Yen, stating that why can't we appreciate teachers on the Teachers' Day when we're doing an education conclave? So this is a small token of love. Any words you would like to speak?
No, actually, I'm speechless, and it is so sudden that I'm not. I'm honored. I'm honored. Simply, I'm honored. Being a teacher is first experience for me. To become honored like this so suddenly and on a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Kavita, please put the next slide. Yeah. You know what? Mrs. Sunita Pani has received over 35 votes. And the best message that we have received is from Vijayalakshmi Murmu. I hope both of you are there. You can see the message which is sent by her. Vijayalakshmi, are you there? Okay. Sunita ji, are you there? I'm sure they would be watching on YouTube or there would be network connectivity. She is from DPS Damanjodi, Orissa. Beautiful message that we have received. In fact, all the 1,200 messages that we have received were so emotional. As you can see that even I cannot read these messages, but a sincere gratitude to the teaching fraternity and a very well, crafted initiative by Youngster Entrepreneur Nexus that makes us proud that we have kids who are actually thinking beyond their curriculum. Thank you so much, Yen. Thank you so much, all the students who have nominated. As I've said, almost 1,200 entries, so it has become a sleepless night for us to see that who is the best. And based on that, we have given these awards. Now, thank you so much, all the teachers. Thank you, Yen, for these appreciation awards. Moving on to the next category, Kavita. Okay. Well, before we announce the winners, we had most of the teachers who were the panelists or most of the people who are the panelists, they were just one step behind the award. And here I would request Dr. Sunil Mudgil to share his insights when he was doing a jury selection. That what were the insights? And Mr. Sunil Mudgil, 30 seconds.
Yeah, ma'am, though there are various dimensions, let me take only one dimension. A scene setting. When you're looking at the video must come up with a simple background or the background which suits your personality. And you're supposed to be looking to the camera or the mobile must be placed horizontally when you are getting shot. And also, preferably, it should be on a tripod so that stability is ensured. Light must be coming up from the front. Otherwise, the room must also be brightened without fail. major portion of the light must come from the front, and there should not be any shade when you're looking at. And and your smile, the smile has to be part and parcel. You got to be dynamic. You should not be low in your voice. You got to be dynamic, depending upon the subject or the topic you have been given. And I don't want to get into the other part to look at. Let the other people are going to speak on that probably. But whatever you're going to speak, you got to have a communication which must be prismatic, so that different set of people are going to listen to you, and you must be able to connect them with all. And that is how you're supposed to be making a video and presenting when you send it. And this is one part which I've seen. There were other parts which
bang on, sir. Bang on, bang on. May I have Mr. Sunil Kapila, if he's there? Sir, can you unmute yourself? Okay, I believe he was very active on YouTube. Let me come to Saurabh Nanda then, and then followed by Gajraj Theaji.
Right. Thank you so much, ma'am. And happy Teachers Day, everyone. So one of the things which matters a lot to me, in addition to what Brigadier Mudgil has already said, is how you present and what is the flow of your content, right? Like a lot of filmmakers also use this particular formula, wherein you put in a question first, then you try to change the situation, and then finally you provide the solution to it. So there's a three-part scenario which you can create, which attracts the user, makes the engagement more, and the user keeps on staying throughout the video, trying to look for the solution with you, rather than just looking at you and trying to see what is happening. The user get involved in finding the solution with you. So that is one of the aspects I really look for, because that makes content really, really attractive and really, really effective also.
Thank you so much, Saurabh, for being so brief. I know you use a professional setup while you're speaking in your podcasts. Now let me move on to Gajraj ji. Gajraj ji, 20 seconds. Are you there? Okay, I believe Gajraj ji, आप हो तो please unmute कीजिए ना आपको.
Good evening, everybody, and I wish all of you a very auspicious Teachers Day today. Teachers के लिए अगर मैं कहूँ तो सबसे बड़ी बात ये होगी कि दिया ज्ञान का भंडार हमें, किया भविष्य के लिए तैयार हमें, हैं आभारी उन गुरुओं के हम जो किया कृतज्ञ अपार हमें। सभी आए हुए टीचरों को मेरा सत सत नमन। And it's a great evening, an auspicious day. Thank giving me this opportunity, and I'm honored on this day. Thanks, Career Beacon. Congratulations to all the finalists for being there and competing the Impact Award 2020, which has come through a positive competition, passing through the stages. Great deal by Career Beacon team. At the last but not the least, congratulations to the winners of Impact Award 2020, which has the concept, contents, and initiatives charmed us with its rich story, likable moments, and concepts. It has really shown us triple E and triple C. Triple E is engage, encourage, and enjoy. Triple C means connect, collaborate, and create. So all the teachers, those who were there in the award ceremony, congratulations to them and wish them all the very best. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you so much, all the jury members. Somehow we are missing Sunil Kapila ji, but yes, Colonel Sunil Kapila has also shared his beautiful views, and I just received a message that he wanted to thank obviously the Beacon for arranging this. At the same time, he would like beautiful videos that he has actually seen. Now with this, Kavita, who all are the people who are there as a finalist, who are getting the awards in the finalist thing? Kavita? Okay, so one of the finalists is Kamini Haldar, who has been a finalist. So congratulations, Kamini. Moving on to the next finalist, Kavita. Kavita, you'll have to move. I believe your screen has frozen or what?
You want me to say a few words? I am now on Zoom.
Sir, I would like to give you an opportunity a little later. Now we actually started with the things. I'm so sorry for that. I'll give you a word moment in a short while. So finalist award goes to Debjani Bose. Okay, congratulations. Sangeeta Vashisht, finalist certificate, because who will be the winner, we don't know as of now. Obviously we know, but we don't want to tell you. But at least you have reached to this level. That's really a great thing. So Ruby Bakshi, Dr. Ruby Bakshi, thank you so much. Tamanna Balyan, thank you so much. Having said this, I would not say they are not a part of the winners, but yes, finalist certificate, we would like to give it to everyone. Mr. Jitesh Khanna, thank you. Congratulations. Nishtha Khungar, thank you so much. Yes, moving on. Mithilesh Kumar from Mumbai. Harvinder Kaurji, she is the principal of JP Vidya Mandir. Alka Kapoor, finalist award. These are not the awards. I'm just giving the certificates to the people who have actually applied. Dr. Seema Negi. Yes, next. Dr. Ms. Sanjana Bakshdatta from, she is from DAV RK Puram. Mr. Srinivasan Sriram, you've already heard him in the panel of the schools. Yes. JP Vidya Mandir, the school. Yes. Shanila Joy Chauhan, she is into the finalist award. Mrs. Nirali Dagli and Preeti Pasricha. Yes, move on, please. Are we, yes, Kavita, move on. After Preeti. Okay, I believe, okay. Now we have exhausted all the awards for the finalist. Now let's reveal the first finalist. And Kavita, can you please put the slide? So winner, yes. Debjani Bose for early adopter and evangelist for the new teaching practices. She gets the Impact Award in the Teacher Excellence category. Congratulations, Debjani. Are you there? Debjani, are you there? Okay, I believe she has to rush for the Rotary meeting. Second award goes for the COVID Impact Award to Tamanna Balyan from GD Goenka Public School for the early adapter and avid learner during the COVID-19. So Tamanna, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Your winning speech, please.
Ma'am, I have gone speechless, actually. Thank you so much. I'm extremely honored. I would just like to say thank you for making me this part of this grand event on such an auspicious day. And yes, I am extremely young into this profession, but listening to the people who are holding experience of many years, like things which would have been coming to me after 20-30 years, I have already collected a lot more from this session today. And thank you so much. And from my side, a big shout out to all the teachers and wish you all a very happy Teachers Day. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Well, guys who were in the finalist, I'll be very upfront. There are 2-3 categories. One was for the schools, where we are awarding 3 schools who are actually at par with each other. Then in the COVID navigation journey, we actually asked people that how have you navigated through the COVID journey? So it could be a learning experience and everything. And jury has evaluated on 4 parameters. One is the content, one is the presentation, one is how much was there on the social media, your presence, and of course the presentation style, which has been taken into the consideration. So we had 3 categories. Teacher Excellence Award, Debjani wins that thing. There were 2 people who were there in the Teacher Excellence Award. One is Miss Kamini S. Haldar and another one was Debjani, and it was a real tightrope walk for the jury when we were actually displaying the videos. So, sometimes, yes, there was a tie, sometimes there is up and down on the marks, but yes, the best wins. So congratulations, Debjani. And in the COVID journey, we had multiple people, but Tamanna Balyan was able to make it on the first thing. Congratulations to the rest of the finalists. Now we move on to the school awards. The Man School Delhi receives Excellence in Classroom Delivery using the engaging online teaching practices. So congratulations, Man School. Congratulations, Mr. Srinivas Srinam. Your winning speech, please. Kavita, hold on. Sriram, sir.
Yes, thank you so much. This award is a reflection of the good work that me and my team are doing here at Mart School. And it's been nearly 4 months since COVID struck us. We as a team has put in a lot of measures, innovative measures, primarily to have day-to-day connect with the students and ensure they don't feel out of place, and be a part of the the continuity in education that is carried out by the teachers. And we have done some innovations which I have already spoken on the video, like conducting an online investiture ceremony for the students, as well as having an online PTM, which were path-breaking measures, I feel. And this award doesn't go to me per se, it's for my team, for my school, and I'm really happy to be a part of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a wonderful sharing of your views. I'm sure your videos and everything will be published. Everyone is a winner. Now let's move on to the next person. Modern Public School, Shalimar Bagh, New Delhi, Alka Kapoor. And believe me, her tagline is, winners are not the people who would like to quit. They are the people who would, winners are not the people who are having the habit of winning, but they just don't quit. So, Miss Alka Kapoor, are you there?
Yes, Sunanda, I'm there. I'm always there for you, Sunanda.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I know you are always there. Now your winning speech, please.
Okay, so Sunanda, since I'm traveling, I'm on the way, and just in case my battery is running out or the network gets disconnected, so kindly forgive me for that. But it's certainly overwhelming to receive this award from you. It's been a long journey and a long association with Career Beacon, Kavita, and you, Sunanda. And this year has been very unusual for the teaching fraternity. But for me, it has been, I think, an year of achievements. Today, I got the CBSE Principals Award also, which was bestowed to 15 principals across all CBSE schools. So I've been fortunate on that account. The lockdown gave us many, many opportunities, and certainly I focused on the silver lining in the dark cloud, and we did almost everything that we could otherwise have done in a face-to-face in a brick and mortar school. We did Model United Nations. We made the world records with United Kingdom. We did Nukkad Nataks, we did the investiture ceremony, we did inter and intra-school competitions, and our Model United Nations, it had a participation of delegates from 12 countries. Just the only difference was that students couldn't come to us, so we left no stone unturned to reach out to students in every possible way. And the awards that I've got this year, and the list has crossed almost 65 awards in my kitty. So am I there? Am I audible? Okay.
Yes.
So it's crossed almost 65 awards in my kitty now, and I always say that I'm just carrying them back to my students and teachers and parents. While I believe it's their hard work when the principal gets recognized or acknowledged. So thanks to my team, and thanks to all of you for trusting me with this responsibility that comes with the award, and I shall endeavor to give my best in future also. Thank you so much. And
Thank you,
it's a
Alka,
pleasure to receive this award.
Yeah, please stay on. There is another surprise for you. So kindly stay on for next 2 minutes. We'll go to the next awardee. Kavita, please. Yeah, this is Thakur International School, Mumbai, and Dr. Shunila Joy Chauhan. She is receiving the award for the school on the category Innovative Approaches for the Effective Online Teaching Learning. So Shunila, over to you. Shunila, are you there?
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, thank you so much, Career Beacon and Sunanda, for the constant encouragement. Thank you, jury. I really enjoyed hearing your perspective today on how you selected everyone. So thank you for that. And none of this would have been possible without my team and my school support. So thank you to my school also and my team. And I just love the process that was there by Career Beacon for these awards, because it was very clear, and there were many steps, and it was pretty, exhaustive also, but really good and fun to do. So I enjoyed it and looking forward to many more initiatives from Career Beacon, and so that they, and also a big thank you for providing us this platform where we could actually be heard and seen and appreciated. And that also on Teachers' Day. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shanali. Please stay with us. There is a surprise element for every one of you who is there. So before we go to the surprise element, let's not forget to give a gratitude to the people who made it happen. Brigadier Sunil Mudgil, Colonel Sunil Kapila, Saurabh Nanda, and Mr. Daya. Now, we will be handing over the jury certificates to all of them. And here I give Mr. Colonel Sunil Kapila an opportunity to speak for 30 seconds, as he could not speak. So Dr. Brigadier Sunil Mudgil, certification of appreciation for doing such a beautiful work. And moving on, yes. So Colonel Sunil Kapila, your turn to say something, as we missed out initially.
Yeah, good evening, everyone, and my congratulations to all the schools and principals. This was my first participation. This was my first participation with Career Beacon, and I must say it was a very well organized event, and I really enjoyed looking at all the talent we have across the country. And a few more, one or 2 points I can like to just say that, I heard somebody in that discussion, I followed the discussion through, saying that, it's not about learning, is not about coding and all that. I just wanted to take the point. Coding is not coding as we understand it. Coding is teaching children logical thinking, right? And creating ideas and concepts which you're bringing them from various pedagogy into realization. So that's my little point, this thing. And for that, I think one of the biggest things schools should undertake is that every teacher should actually be an elementary coder, be it any one language and things like that, because Scratch or Raspberry Pi or, all these tools.
Said, sir. Perfectly said. I'm sure your valuable inputs are there. So Kavita, move on to the next jury member, please.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Kavita. Okay, Saurabh, thank you so much. This is a certificate of appreciation for your valuable work that you have done. I know every jury has spent almost 5 hours to evaluate all the videos, and then we had hurdle meetings. So thank you so much, Saurabh. Moving on to Gajraj Dhayaji. Gajraj Dhayaji ka certificate, Kavita. I believe, okay. I believe somewhere we did some of the goof up. Sorry, Gajraji, but there is a certificate for you for that, and which will be shared with you very shortly. Now, the next surprise element, as promised, the winners are there on the cover page of Career Beacon. So congratulations, Alkaji, Shriramji, and Shanila Joy. You will be receiving the e-copy of the magazine. Obviously, we are not printing the prints this time, but yes, there will be digital copies which has got your interviews in that. And a big congratulations to all the winners, a big congratulations to all the finalists. With this, we come to an end of the session, but without vote of thanks, it cannot be delivered. So Kavita, please open up and share your vote of thanks as brief as it can be.
Thank you so much, Sunanda. I'll keep it very brief. It's been a long session. It's a wonderful session we had, very insightful and thought-provoking with such eminent educationists. And it gives me immense pleasure, to be part of it and giving vote of thanks for each and everyone who is there with us. Thank you so much for being with us, and not taking much time and going through the formal word of thanks. I would like to say that on a Teachers' Day, such an auspicious day, it is a privilege for us coming up with such a event, Education e-CONCLAVE, and then recognizing the teachers for their efforts, for their journey during this tough time, because they are the torchbearer who took the step to keep the education continue. The lamp should be lighting. It should not be darkness of I would say knowledge was never there, because the teachers were effortlessly putting their efforts, learning new things, because it was not their forte to be technically abreast with the technology for online learning. So wonderful our gratitude and appreciation for all the teachers, all the educators, for putting their efforts during this COVID period, and taking up the challenge, and making the learning a continued process. And all the eminent speakers, and yen for especially for the gratitude. We try to put, even NAP talks about building teachers' reputation, teachers' honor, putting teachers at a higher platform, and teaching the kids to respect the teachers. And this gratitude award that was there, it is again the way the students have come up. It's again instill the that still the students do respect the teachers. They have so much of faith, they have so much of affection and respect for the teachers. So with that, I conclude, and I thank everyone for being with us, and all the eminent speakers and all the judges, jury, everyone, because each and every one of you has brought such an insight and new perspective. I would say with each speaker, we had a different perspective, and we were able to see, I would say, 360 view of the NAP. Thank you, and audience, for being with us and making this a huge success. With that, I conclude today.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Stay safe. Happy Teachers Day to everyone.
Happy Teachers Day to all, because you are the people who are making us. In fact, we have been made because of you. I'm sure there are people. I still remember one of my English teacher, Pradhan ma'am. She always says, इंजीनियर की कमी जो है ब्रिज के नीचे चली जाती है, डॉक्टर की कमी लाश के साथ चली जाती है, बट टीचर की कमी जो है ना देश पर उभर के आती है. So hats off to you guys. You are doing a tremendous job, and maybe in future, next time whenever we get an opportunity, we would like to be a teacher, because this is the most respected occupation after the defense. So thank you so much once again. Thank you for staying with us.
Congratulations to you, Sunanda, and congratulations to Kavita, and congratulations to all. Thank you, those winners. Thank you very much. Thank you, please.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.
So we look forward to serve you in future, and an e-copy of the magazine shall be shared to all of you. People who have actually attended our event, they will be getting the feedback form, and after the feedback form, you will be receiving the participation certificate also. So please do fill up that so that we can also improvise. Thank you so much.
Right, thank you so much. Thank you.
Our pleasure.